Hello, it is I, the weeb, Timmy from Tim Jong-un Productions, and welcome back to another groovy episode of Far Off Films. It's
Groovy.
haha, get it? Get it? Because it's like Evil Dead.
Damn, that's
So
so cool.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
wish my
Yeah.
reaction to this was totally genuine right now. And this is not the first
Yeah, it's
time
not
we
like this is
tried
the
to-
this is the, it's not like this is the third time we're doing this intro.
It's like the third try. I'm so tired. We're recording at a very late time for me, so it's weird. I'm more active and more in the zone when it's 6 a.m. when we're recording this than when it's midnight when we're recording this. We're never gonna do this again. We're gonna go back to our normal time. Anyway, who are you people? So,
I mean, it suits me. Yeah. I'm Jules from the channel The Wars Man.
And I'm Luca from Luca's Films. And yeah, we kind of are messing around with our recording times today for reasons. So right now it's
Yeah.
bright and early. It's 6 a.m. for me instead, and it's still pitch black. I'm in a little cabin right now, so I have the perfect recording setting for what we're talking about today. But I guess we're
I'm
not
the
talking
opposite.
about
It's like
those yet.
2:30 in the afternoon for me.
yeah, so it's just ideal for you, but it's like the worst case situation for me and Luca. So
I
Yeah.
ended up
Well, now you know what it
wondering,
feels like having to record late at night.
I know, but
Yeah,
it's not
I guess
12
so.
a.m. for you. Like, it normally ends at 12 a.m., but right now it's 12 a.m. for Timmy. Like,
yeah, so
Yeah, that's true. So you're going to bed at like 3.
and Timmy has
Yeah.
work tomorrow.
and I have
Oh my
work tomorrow.
goodness.
I'm so exhausted. Yeah, so
I can't relate. I'm not an
Well,
adult.
at least you get to talk about Evil Dead.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. I do get to talk about Evil Dead and
Get
fucking
to rant
finally because
about the remake.
yeah, but let's get there when we get there. So, in the meantime, what new shit has happened this time, Jules?
I thought we'd do a more positive story today because I feel like all the stories recently have just been a bit about like, oh, remake this, remake that, something bad's happening. So I thought, well, I found this story about the brand Saint Laurent is launching a film production company, and they've got a bunch of cool people on board to develop films like David Cronenberg, Gaspar Noé, and most importantly Wong Kar-wai, which is fucking sick.
Hell yeah.
That
Yeah.
sounds dank. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, that was that was the only thing I brought today. It's kind
Yeah.
of like a short. I figured we
Well,
should
I
get
mean,
into
we
the-
do have a lot of movies to get through, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
good. I mean, like, just so is this like trying to be like an A24 type studio where it's like,
Yeah.
so what's
Yeah.
the deal with this? Okay, so it's just another.
So
Okay,
apparently the guy who runs Saint Laurent is like a huge cinephile, so this is something he's been
Laurent.
wanting to happen.
That sounds like a weird high school name. That doesn't sound like a
Saint
movie
Laurent.
like movie production company name.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. It seems like they're getting some old golden oldies.
I feel like the
So,
people
yeah.
who will run
Gaspar Noé is
studios.
not a golden oldie.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he seems pretty old, but I guess he hasn't been.
Yeah, when
making
I think
films for that
classic-
long.
yeah. When I think classic
Classic
cinema, I'm thinking,
directors.
I'm thinking climax. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Can't
good
lie,
on
though,
them.
that's gonna be awesome.
I still
Finally,
haven't
a
seen any
film
of
from
his
him.
movies. Yeah, I still haven't seen any of his movies.
Oh,
I want to
really?
watch. Yeah, I want to watch one of his films, but
I haven't seen all of them, but everything he's made is just awesome.
yeah, I
We
heard
all
he's
recommend
great. Yeah,
some podcast.
yeah, definitely. It'll give me an excuse to watch one of his movies. That's like part of the reason why I wanted us to do this podcast in the first place, because it's an excuse for you guys to force me to watch other shit that's like new. that I've heard is great.
right?
You know,
That sounds
Got
like an
good news.
excellent idea.
Yeah.
Southland Tales.
I mean, hey, at least we can say we've seen that movie, though. That's the thing.
I don't want
I think I
to
wanna
say
say
that
that
I've
I
seen
say,
that movie.
I mean, we're also going to talk about Showgirls at some point, so it's like it can't be all good. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
That's why my recommendation is going to be a good one this episode.
This one is a good one, too. What are you
We'll get
talking
there.
about? Yeah. So,
I haven't seen
I don't know.
a lot of Wong Kar-wai, but I've seen like a film from like a couple of years ago that he produced called like what was it fucking called? Was it called One for the Road? Yeah, and I loved that film. That was very awesome. You should check it out. I think
Mhm.
both of you would actually really like it. Honestly, it's like
One for the road. Oh,
it's
yeah.
got like
think
a
I've heard
very
of
good
this, yeah.
style to it, and it's just great. Yeah.
Mhm.
You should
Yeah.
check out In the Mood for Love and Fallen Angels and Chunking Express.
I think
Everyone
I've
should check out
seen
his films.
In the
Yeah,
Mood for Love.
Yeah, I know they're like all like supposed. In the Mood for Love, I know is like considered like one of the best movies ever or something. So I just
I think
yeah,
all
it's
of those
been
are
on my-
considered like some of the best movies ever. Like
Fallen
Yeah, no,
Angels
but
is
like
his
In the
best
Mood
movie.
for Love, yeah. Oh, Fallen Angels is your favorite. Okay, yeah, because when I hear
In the
Wong
Mood for Love is
Kar-wai's
the
name,
most like loved one. Yeah.
yeah, like that's his like most iconic. In the same vein as like when you think Hayao Miyazaki, like Spirited Away is probably like the first thing you think of, or like Akira
No, I
Kurosawa
don't
and like
think-
Seven
I think- I
Samurai
think
or something.
Totoro.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay,
I
well,
just think of an old grumpy man smoking.
Yeah.
An old-
when someone
an old-
says Hayao Miyazaki.
an old grumpy man who said, "Fuck you, technology's bad" or something. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, sounds good. I can't wait to
The guy who
see some-
chills with cats.
I know Jasper has like a design project where he was like given a movie and he has to go like look through it and like pick out like like stills from it.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and one of the ones that he got was Chungkyung Express, so I'll probably end up watching that pretty soon. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But yeah.
yeah. Good. Yeah. Good article. Yeah. Good
Mm.
info,
Yeah.
Jules. Yeah.
Future's bright.
Yeah. I figured. Yeah. Whenever we do this news related shit, it always just results in me just like ranting or being angry for like 10 minutes. So I'm
About,
glad.
like, David Zaslav.
Yeah, I'm glad we can just save that for something else today instead. So, yeah.
Did
Well,
you see that video I put in one of our channels the other day, Timmy, about where David Zaslav is talking about film preservation?
yeah, no, that was just fucking
Oh.
bullshit. I mean, we're gonna move on, but like him, yeah, him talking about film preservation and then says that and then just cancels a bunch of shit. Yeah, a bunch of shit. Like in the meantime, it's like, dude, fuck off. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like I actually don't even have a good. I don't have a good like analogy for that. It's because I'm so tired. But like, you know what I mean. It's like what a fucking hypocrite. Like Jesus. So, yeah.
All I gotta say is David Zaslav, and it gets Timmy into an angry boy.
Yeah, I just don't have the energy.
Now you're wide awake.
Yeah, now I'm wide awake. You just had to say you just had to say his name is like Beetlejuice. So just say his name like a couple times, and then you'll immediately have my attention. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway.
we've got normally we have a new release to talk about, but we've got a bunch of movies to discuss, so we figured, whatever. And plus, we haven't seen Suzume yet. Well, I saw Suzume because, I like good movies, but apparently you guys don't, so...
I'm gonna see it
Wow.
eventually.
Yeah.
I saw the Super Mario Bros. Movie.
Yeah, you
which
saw
was
that, but
a,
not Suzume. What does that say about yourself?
That I have a busy schedule, bro.
That's fair.
if you're busy, then why did you choose to see Mario out of all things?
Yeah.
Because it was a nice afternoon viewing with my family. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
They don't want to watch Suzume. They want to watch fucking Mario.
You could have watched just John Wick 4 again. Like, I don't know. So
I did watch John Wick 4 again.
okay, that's fair.
Not Suzume.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, glad you have your priorities straightened out. So,
I don't watch no anime.
yeah, so, because you're already forced to sit through enough anime through me anyway, so you
Yeah.
need a breather.
How about enough?
Have you guys-
We should also mention that we tried to time this episode so that we could include Evil Dead Rise, but that plan has just fell through because
that immediately went the wayside. I mean,
Yeah.
it could have been possible
know.
if Jules just didn't ruin fucking everything by like saying, "Oh, I can't do weekend anymore, guys." Well, I don't know.
Well,
I couldn't have
that
seen it
thing
anyway.
The
yeah.
thing is,
Yeah.
Jules couldn't see it because can't watch a movie in Australia without fucking like. How do I phrase this without like giving away all your information? Jules is too
Parental
young.
guidance.
Yeah.
Jules is 1 year
Well, it's
younger
not even that I'm
than
it's-
Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah, so I can't legally see it, and I can't go see Beau is Afraid either, which I'm more mad about, honestly.
And then the film just decided not to release theatrically in my country. So like it just all went to shit pretty much.
Oh, so we
Timmy's
wouldn't
the
have been
only
able
one
to
that
pull
could
this
see
off
it.
anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Which now that I realize, I don't think I will have been able to see Evil Dead Rise this weekend, like probably anyway, because Beau is Afraid is also coming out at the same time, and
That takes
and then-
higher priority.
yeah, and I don't have time
I-
to watch both, so I need to choose one over the other this weekend. So
Yeah, and I was hyped to watch Beau is Afraid this weekend as well, and then they pushed it back. So yeah.
What?
Oh. Yeah.
oh,
So,
what?
like,
That's
everything-
lame.
Oh, that
just-
sucks.
Yeah.
Everything just went to shit in the South African cinema sphere for some reason. If it's not already shit enough, you can't watch anything here in cinemas. But like, yeah,
Yeah, I would have gone to see Suzume earlier, but my local cinema just decided when they're not going to show it for some reason. So yeah, everything sucks.
Everything does suck.
Whoa, crazy surprise guest. It's the guy from the Nefarious Reels podcast. Who are you? Introduce
Hello.
yourself. Yeah. So-
Hello. Yes, I am Cole. I am one half of the Nefarious Reels podcast, where we really just talk about bad movies. And as of we're recording, sometime tomorrow we are releasing our Evil Bong episode for the 420 episode.
Ah,
Hell
that's
yeah.
cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be more consistent on 420 now than Derek Savage.
Well,
lately,
sometimes
so.
today, because today is 420 actually.
Yeah.
Well, technically not for me yet in 12 minutes.
Yeah, but either way,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
420 is just the most wondrous time of the year. So, for no reason
cool.
whatsoever.
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know what you're talking
Yeah.
about now.
I couldn't. I can't imagine making a podcast only talk about bad films because we've never talked about bad films on this.
oh,
podcast.
yeah, we've never done that ever whatsoever.
No, you've only
Yeah.
talked about masterpieces. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Southland Tales.
hmm And Bone Alone.
Oh my god.
No, I don't slander Bone Alone.
I'm
Bone
gonna
Alone
make
actually was a
it my goal
masterpiece.
to never recommend a bad movie. On
I mean,
this
you've
thing.
been doing a good job with that so far because you haven't. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
I think
So-
you've recommended a film that I haven't given at least a 7.
What can I say? My
Yeah.
track record
You're
is
just that
like-
good.
Yeah.
She's just
I'm so
classy like
sly. I
that.
don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, snobbish.
Just recommending good films like a jolly old chap.
When it comes to like
Yeah.
themes we might do, I might have to break that rule though, because
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I can't wait because I still got a slew of bad movies to recommend. I actually can't wait
Oh,
for
no.
Christmas to come around because I want to
boy.
recommend. Actually, you know what? I'll save it when we get there. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll be home for Christmas.
No, but it's a movie.
It's
I-
probably gonna be the thing Timmy wanted to recommend last time for Christmas. What was it again, Jules? Was it like
Jingle All the Way? No, it's not that.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jingle
it's
All the Way,
Thank-
yeah.
yeah,
thank
it's something
God,
else.
no.
Yeah.
The
So
Arnold classic?
well, if I was going to recommend Jingle All the Way, I was going to add it with Jingle All the Way 2 that has nothing to do with the original one, and they replaced Arnold with fucking Larry the Cable Guy. So
Wow.
Oh,
Speaking
yeah.
of movies
Kinda forgot that one
have
existed.
nothing to do with the original one.
Well,
Evil
before we
Dead.
do that, well, hold on. Before we do that, so Cole, who are you? More in detail though. Like, I guess this is the crossover that you've been wanting for a long time, since we both kind of came from. Yeah,
kind of like Mr. Peanut Butter.
yeah, because we both
I'm
came.
Mr. Peanut Butter. You're
Peanut
Bojack.
butter.
Yeah, because we're both
What
from
is this?
the.
A crossover episode?
Yeah. This is the Batman v Superman of crossovers. So yeah, we finally made it happen. Nefarious Reels and Far Off finally colliding. It's the thing that happened. Yeah. Quick, what are your favorite movies?
They
and
don't know about.
Oh, sorry. Go
I
ahead.
don't know about the amount of shit we've talked about in Nefarious Reels off camera.
Yeah, we talk shit about you guys at least like 6 times a day.
Don't
So-
worry, Ninjedi and I have already done that, so we've kind of one-upped you on that. We do it 7 times. So.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Wow.
Not to
we came up
flex,
with the
but-
podcast first.
So yeah. Wait, did we form our
Yeah.
things first before them, or?
No, I think you guys did, and then he like texted me like, "Hey, we should do a bad movie podcast. Make a little twist on it." I'm like, "Okay,"
Okay. So you're saying you're the.
and that's how I got him into Southland Tales.
So you're kind of like the Spite podcast. You made your podcast in spite of ours, or something, or
Yeah.
Yeah, in spite, maybe.
Mm.
Not necessarily to copy, but Ninjedi and I were kind of more like the bad movie, I don't know how you would say it, quote-unquote, experts, maybe?
Sure.
But we're the ones who usually love to watch more of the bad movies. And yeah, that's how Nefarious Reels happen.
And Jedi's got an unhealthy addiction to them.
He still has that quote from Tom on his like profile, but your film watches
Your
scare
film
me.
watches scare me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still true.
Yeah.
It's a little concerning, but
Yeah, but at least like you're like, I don't know. It's something about like the movies that you guys recommend on your podcast, like get some kind of entertainment value out of it. Like when I think of like bad movies, I'm thinking of like Dragon Ball Evolution or Death Note, but I'm not gonna like force any of you guys to watch those shit, you know? So or
Why
maybe
did you make us watch Southland
I mean, you
Tales?
made us watch it for film club, so
yeah, but that's like
you made it there.
that's like
Yeah.
a separate entity, you know? So
Yeah.
Is it?
I can't
Thank
really.
God I wasn't there for that.
Yeah. So
But you missed a great rant.
yeah, that's where
You missed a
the
great
I
rant.
saw the second-hand version.
yeah, that's true.
You had to be there for the main one, though.
Pretty much,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know.
All right, quick, Cole, favorite movies, least favorite
Okay.
movies, go.
Favorite movies: Under the Skin.
Hell yeah.
Denis Villeneuve's Enemy. That's probably my favorite Villeneuve, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Controversial.
John Carpenter's The Thing.
Nice.
Based.
And if we are going with favorite movie of this year, it is currently Rylane.
Mm,
Oh, fuck yeah.
you made Luca happy
Yeah.
with that one, so
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
Rylane's amazing.
I still haven't seen it. Yeah.
And
And
we're-
Timmy should watch it.
Am I the only
Yeah,
one here
you
who
should,
hasn't seen
Timmy.
it yet?
Probably
Yeah.
not. Probably.
Okay.
And if you give it less than a 9, you're
Whoa.
nitpicky and biased.
Exactly. I will refuse to watch Suzume, and I'll downgrade my rating if you give it anything other than a 9.
We could actually do Rylane next episode too.
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
yeah.
I mean, just if
Oh.
it needs to force me to watch it, you know. So,
Yes.
well,
Yeah.
yeah,
But okay, since I'm the bad movie person, if I'm talking about least favorites,
yeah.
I have a couple, but I'll just narrow it down to 2 just for the time right now. If I'm talking in a franchise, it is Spiral from the Book of Saw.
Oh God.
That is why, Timmy, if you ever want to watch that, I'll be there because I can nitpick like everything that's wrong about it.
You're the first person I'll because I plan on making like a why this blank franchise sucks video with Saw like before it comes out. So yeah, I'll definitely hit you up on that one. So,
Okay. Yeah, I can explain that a little more. But if we're talking about worst movie of all time, there's one I've had for years, and it's movie 43.
Oh, that classic of a battalion. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like anytime I try to watch it, I want to turn it off like at the 5-minute mark when you see the balls on Hugh Jackman's chin. I'm like, just fuck you.
Yeah, directed by Best Picture winner Peter
Farrelly.
Farrelly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And starring everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
Every celebrity.
Hollywood the movie.
Yeah.
Everybody.
So
One of those.
yeah, it's certainly one of those. Anyway, yeah, thank you, Cole, for the speed running responses. Now, let's speed run through these Evil Dead movies that I recommended. So yeah, it was my turn. I recommended all the Evil Dead films, every single last one of them. 3 Sam Raimi good ones, and then the other one. But I guess let's go. Let's go and
we'll get into it.
yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, let's start in order though. So let's start with the first one, the original The Evil Dead, 1981, I believe, or 82, I don't know. Directed by Sam Raimi. I think this is his first feature film. I have to make sure specifically, but either way, this is one of his earlier films. And I mean, there isn't much in terms of story. It's just pretty simple. Just some bros go into the woods, open a book, they listen to a podcast about how bad the demon book is, and then the demon haunts them. What do we think about The Evil Dead?
It's great.
Fucking groovy as shit.
Yeah, it's awesome. Lucas?
Luca, do you have something?
Well,
That little shiver.
Yeah.
I appreciate this movie.
Uh,
I
Oh, boo.
It's not enough.
yeah.
I
Boo.
appreciate.
Boo.
Wow. Okay, well,
Boo.
you guys can talk about it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
continue.
okay. I keep
I've
going.
said all I
Yeah.
needed to say.
Just keep going on why you're wrong.
I have to appreciate it because it did start the rest of the franchise, which is a great and awesome and fun franchise. But
We
this
might not have got
first one
Spider-Man without it.
That's true.
is,
Yeah.
is not really that great in my opinion. I think it's fine.
Mhm.
I will admit straight from the beginning that I do have some personal bias against this film because I watched it on probably one of the worst days of my life ever. So I do have some personal shit with it that just makes me I'd like to think that I can overlook those things when thinking about this movie, but there's probably a natural instinct in me that just is naturally gonna like it less for obvious reasons. There's always natural instincts in people that you just can't tell, even about yourself. So yeah, but even without those like biases, like I don't know. Like I just didn't super vibe with it. Like yeah, it's like I don't know how to explain it. Like I think the main reason why people like this film is because it's funny because it's trying to take itself seriously, but it's just fucking goofy. But I did not really find it goofy, and like
Really?
I found it goofy, but it wasn't in a way where like I was like, oh, this is bad, so I'm enjoying it. I was like, oh, this is bad, and it feels very cheap, and all the actors are fucking not good at all. and like
Yeah, but
and like
but I feel like
What?
I feel
I
like
know that's a part of the charm and
Yeah.
stuff, but like for me, it just ended up dragging and like it was hard to sit through, and I don't know why, but like yeah, I just think Evil Dead 2 is just this, but just infinitely better.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I'm not gonna disagree
yeah,
with
of
that.
course.
Yeah, of course. Like Evil Dead
Yeah.
2 is it's basically
It's-
a remake of the original Evil Dead. Yeah, but like
yeah,
But it's like up to an 11, basically.
yeah, it like it
yeah,
amps up
and
on
that's
all the
why
comedy.
I actually
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, like Evil Dead 2, like yeah, it amps up the comedy, and that's why I like it more, because it's not taking itself seriously. But Evil Dead is trying to take itself seriously, but like like I just don't connect to finding it still fun, because it's like has a sense of like cheesiness to it and goofiness to it, even though like it's trying to play itself pretty straight. Like I don't know. I know it's like a cult thing, and I appreciate like the filmmaking, because some of it's still pretty good.
hmm
Like but like yeah, like I don't know why I would ever need Evil Dead 1 when I have Evil Dead 2, you know?
See, I
Um,
kind of disagree because like I agree. Like they very much tried to make a serious horror film, and in a way you can say
Yeah.
that they failed like spectacularly, because the film gets super goofy and over the top. But in any other horror film, I think that would like serve as a detriment. But the reason why I'm okay with this, like having these kind of goofs, is just because of like I guess just the filmmaking really, and like when considering like sort of like the behind the scenes, like what they had to get through to to make this movie. Like this film basically had like the combined total budget of like all of our lunch monies put together. Like this was a very like they didn't have like a big budget, they didn't have like some massive studio backing them up, and a lot of like the filmmaking that went into it was also pretty cheap, but it was also really creative. Like I totally agree that like yeah, like the film is kind of bad, but it's at the same time there's so much like that's impressive about it, especially considering that like Sam Raimi was like 21, 22 when he like first made this film, and the fact that he's so young but is able to get so much out of it, both the filmmaking but also just like the actors as well. Like this is the film that introduced that like fucking swooping like shaky POV shot, like you see from the demon's like perspective. And considering like what little they had to work with, the fact that they can get like an emotional shock out of you like horror wise, like I think is pretty impressive. Like for a budget of like $5 like the makeup on like the demons like still looks pretty impressive. Like it still looks convincing if you ask me, So like I think as a straightforward serious horror film, yeah, I don't think they like achieved what they set out to do, but like it's kind of like a happy accident, like in the process of like trying to go for a serious horror film, they ended up making something pretty wacky and pretty creative, and that's what I get out of it. Like obviously, yes, like Evil Dead 2 is the much better film, Army of Darkness is the much better film, but I think there's a lot that I really appreciate about this movie on its own, so
Yeah, I was even gonna point out too, it's like there's something fun about these low budget movies where it's just almost like you see just a bunch of friends like fucking around in the woods and just being like, hey, we got like a couple bucks on us, let's try and make a movie over this weekend that we're on.
yeah, it's almost like a glorified
And
like
that's what's
student
fun about
film, or like a film project that like you'd make with
Pretty
like
much is like a
college
student
friends.
film.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Like the final project.
hmm Yeah.
Yeah, like I do agree. Like the filmmaking is like really like great for the constraints that they had. Like, and I still really very much do appreciate those aspects of the film. Like yeah, where like when I say that I don't vibe with this movie super hard, it's not me like cutting out like the filmmaking aspects at all, because it is great. But like you guys said, like this still is a student film. It still feels like a student film to me. Like the actor's delivery and like just the feeling of it. Like it still feels like that very like rugged type thing, and I can understand that working for like a ton of people. Like,
Mhm.
it does add to the charm of what this film is. Like, I very much
Yeah, I
understand
think the
that.
bad
But
acting
I
like
just
adds to like the fun and like the vibes of the movie, you know? Like even Bruce Campbell, who like
yeah, I
even
guess
he's
that.
like the best actor of the film, but he is also kind of
And
bad
he's
in the
still not
movie.
that great.
Yeah, he's still not
Yeah,
even that
no, he's
great.
bad.
But
Yeah.
it's like but it's not that kind of movie, you know? It's like it's just a bunch of dudes that set out to make essentially just like a fun cheap horror movie, and I think that they accomplished exactly what they set out to do, you know? So, I mean, if it's not your thing, it's not your thing, of course, but it's like
Yeah, I just don't know why I don't connect to it in like the same way as like I do Evil Dead 2 or Army of Dark. I think it's like, I don't know. I feel like I feel like Evil Dead in itself like feels like such a goofy concept, but like when it's them, when the goofiness doesn't come from them trying to make it goofy themselves, it just feels like weird and out of place to me. I don't know. I don't even know how I'm supposed to try describe it. I just don't really connect with it. Like, yeah,
yeah, and that's totally fair.
I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
connect with it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also that
I
tree
mean,
scene is
this is
just
the whole.
fucking horrible. I hate
Oh,
that shit.
yeah, that's
Oh,
no,
Really
kind of
that was,
tasteless.
like,
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah.
When Tim and I were watching,
Yeah,
it,
that
we were
was
like,
pretty
yeah,
like
this is like,
Yeah, no.
why? Why did you need to do this? Was this necessary? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Sam Raimi regrets putting it in there, but still, like, fuck, that is like,
now they have
Yeah.
they have to put that in like every Evil
Yeah,
Dead
now
movie,
it's in,
Yeah,
like,
now you're just
everyone.
fucked because now you have to include like fucking like rapey trees like in every Evil Dead film. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Harv Tree Wine. Yeah,
Harvey
Tree Weinstein.
Weintree.
Yeah.
God.
Harvey Weinstein. Yeah. So,
My
Great.
yeah. Jules, we didn't hear much from you. How do you feel about
Oh, yeah.
the Evil Dead?
The Evil Dead.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. It's like a just kind of I think you need to like look at the intent of like why this movie was made, which was basically just like let's just make a fucking movie because why not?
Yeah.
We've got like $50 to spare,
Mhm.
and I think you have to question whether they thought they were making like a serious film or not. But I think either way, it just kind of like everything about it just adds to like this kind of goofy. It's just a fun movie rather than like a movie that you're meant to be like scared by, really.
Yeah.
And like all the acting is like really bad, but there are some like really commendable aspects to it, like the facial makeup on like the what are they called, the Deadites or something.
The Deadites.
I don't think they're. It's this rewatch where I realized they don't actually call them Deadites until Army of Darkness. I think, right? Or because
I think
I don't remember them being
No,
called
they
Deadites.
call it they call it a Deadite at the end of Evil Dead 2.
Oh yeah.
Oh no,
Okay.
they did. Yeah.
Okay, because
the Sam Raimi night did.
Because I was like, did they not call them Deadites until Army of Dark? Because I don't remember them calling them that in Evil Dead. Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense. So.
I mean, I guess you could say in the Army of Darkness universe, maybe in Evil Dead 2.
but it's all the same universe, though.
If you want to get so
Yeah.
logical.
Yeah. So,
I'm talking in the 1300 medieval times.
okay. All right.
At the end of Evil Dead 2, if that probably made it even more confusing.
hmm So, do you guys think that, like, so Jules, on that point, like, do you think that at some point they were like getting more self-aware as the film goes on? Because I feel like the film isn't as like serious as like it intends to be like towards the second half. Like I think like the final shot, like when like Bruce Campbell like comes out of the cabin, he's like alive or whatever, but then like the fucking demon evil POV shot like comes in, and then like right before it hits like Sam, he's like you know, like I think that was like intentionally goofy. Like I think they realized that like
Yeah.
they were like, you know what, fuck making a serious horror film, let's just do some like wacky shit. Because like
I think they set out to make it pretty. They were trying to make it scary because, like, I know. I think Sam Raimi's like brother or friend hopped onto like the screenplay of Evil Dead 2, and they were like, we should make this more of a comedy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
like maybe
Because I feel
they
like
yeah. Like I
I feel
don't know,
like with
maybe
the
yeah. you could go, Jules.
oh, I was gonna say because I feel like with the original they just kind of like threw shit at the wall basically and like unintentionally created a comedy almost. Like they was like, hey, this is actually kind of I suppose maybe when Sam Raimi was editing it, he was like, oh, this is actually kind of like pretty goofy.
Yeah,
So
it's
just
like a
kinda turned
happy
it into a
accident
comedy.
sort of thing. Yeah. So
Yeah,
and fun fact, the editor who edited this film, her assistant was a young Joel Cohen of the Coen brothers. So
Mhm.
Oh, really?
yeah, so like
Mind
all-
blown.
yeah, that's how like
They
the
all used to live
It all
together.
comes together now.
yeah, because that's how the Coens and Sam Raimi met and are like basically linked together. Because I think so
Huh.
Joel Cohen was an assistant editor for the editor of The Evil Dead, and apparently Sam Raimi loved their script Blood Simple, so they decided to write Crime Wave, which was Sam Raimi's next movie after this. So yeah, which I actually have never seen. I actually am thinking about recommending it on the podcast one day, just so I can like see how bad this like supposed Sam Raimi Coen brothers team up is. But yeah, like a lot.
I've never heard of this.
Okay,
Without the Evil Dead, we might not have
And
got
probably
like
for
No
reason.
Country for Old Men.
basically, yeah, we wouldn't have Fargo or Big Lebowski without the Evil Dead. Yeah, so
Big Lebowski.
yeah, so
Big Lebowski,
Lebowski,
The
yeah,
Big Lewinsky.
yeah,
the Big Lewinsky.
yeah. So
Yeah, and if we're talking
Anyway.
about Fargo, people in Minnesota do not talk like that.
I assumed as much. Yeah,
Really? Yeah.
They
yeah.
talk like super Canadian, but that's not how that is.
Mm,
Well, thanks for clearing that up.
yeah.
I know. I have to clear up the Midwest dialect here, so.
Yeah. No, I'm from the Midwest too. I can safely assume that we all don't talk like that. Yeah. So.
Well,
Yeah.
specifically in Upper
I think that
Minnesota.
everyone has
Mhm.
everyone has a stereotypes about their accent.
Yeah.
Everyone says Aussies talk like this or something like that.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
the
'cause they do.
Aussies.
That's true.
Yeah.
That stereotype's more based on truth. But,
Yeah.
Hello, mate. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, do we have anything more to say about The Evil Dead? I feel like the scene behind the movie overall is just more interesting than the actual movie itself. Not that like not that the
that's
actual
what
like
Yeah.
Evil Dead movie itself is bad. Like I think does it have its flaws? Like for sure. Yeah, it's not like a perfect movie, but at the same time, it's not only a first feature film, it's basically a fucking glorified student film, you know? And like considering the budget and like what they had to work with, I think like this is probably as best that they could do with like the resources that they had, you know? So, but at the same time, that's what
and to give credit where credit is due, like it did keep my attention for like the whole runtime.
Yeah,
which is, like more than
absolutely.
I can say about
It
like a lot of
goes
like,
by in a
debut
breeze.
kind of films.
yeah, because when
Yeah,
I mean-
it's very quick as well.
It's- Yeah, it's like an hour and a half, but you're just like, wait, that was 40 minutes past? Like,
yeah,
wow,
exactly.
Roman.
Yeah, when I was watching
I'm
this
having so
film,
much fun with this.
yeah, when I was watching this film, like I checked the runtime and I was like, Jesus, an hour has already passed. Like that's the best thing I can say about these movies, like regardless of which one we're talking about, is that like they have short runtimes and they go super quick. Like the movie's like already over by the time you realize it, you know? Like and what I love about Sam Raimi is that he just manages to keep you invested, like from beginning to end.
Yeah.
So and yeah, it's just awesome, you know. So yeah, cool. Well, I guess
This film kind of dragged for me, honestly. It feels like such a drag
really.
to me. It is like,
Mhm.
I'm just like very not interested and like, yeah, like I didn't like I said, I didn't really find amusement in just watching these bad actors just chilling in this cabin and stuff. Like it's kind of funny when all the Deadite stuff happens and it gets kind of fun.
We're
but like yeah, like
gonna get you, you know. So,
yeah, like
Apparently, the Sam Raimi's the voice of that.
oh, really? I didn't even
that
know that.
demon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
Mhm.
but yeah, like
I mean, when you're on tight, restricted budgets like that, you're gonna probably have stuff like that happen, so.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Did you at least like find like the bad performances like funny in like a bad kind of like I feel like even like some of
No, that's a big
Really?
part of why
because I
didn't
feel like even some of
this
like
film.
Bruce Campbell's is like line delivery can get like amusing at times. Like what the hell did he say at that one point where he's like, "Why are you torturing me? Why?" or some shit like that. And it's like I kind of chuckle because it's
Why are you torturing me? Why?
No, I think that's why I didn't like. Yeah, that's like a big part of the reason why I didn't really connect to this film. Like,
Guess you don't like fun then.
Yeah, that's basically what you're
Yeah.
saying. You don't like fun. So,
You're the
I mean-
anti-fun police, I see.
if that's the reason, then sure. But like,
yeah. So
I mean, I found the other guy in the other, was it his brother or like his sister's like boyfriend or something? I forgot, but I thought he was more annoying than funny, like in some of his line deliveries.
who are you talking? Oh, his best friend
who
or
we
whatever.
talking
Yeah,
about?
Scott. Yeah,
Yeah,
Scotty.
the best friend.
Yeah,
Scott,
Scotty.
yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
Scotty.
Yeah. So
Beam me up, Scotty. Oh, wrong franchise shit.
yeah. So anyway, I feel like we've said all we've wanted to say about The Evil Dead, unless anyone else has something else they want to talk about.
nah.
Okay, cool.
There's not that much to really mention else.
Yeah, because like I said, like I think the story behind the film is more interesting than the film itself. So, but I don't know. Still a great movie. 8 out of 10. I love it. It's awesome.
Yep,
No.
I also love it. It's also an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, for me it's like a 5.
Boo.
Boo.
Very
Boo.
mixed.
No
on it, but
fun.
yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. I
Yeah.
fucking watch one thing and I don't connect with it and I go like fun. And Timmy gives like every
Yeah.
movie he sees 1 star and like and no one fucking calls him out for that shit. Wow.
Yeah, but like that's like sort of expected from me because I apparently don't like movies or something. So
Yeah, you hate movies.
yeah.
Yeah, you've hated movies ever since you gave a fucking Dungeons and Dragons movie like 3 out of 10 or something.
Yeah, I'm still like rolling, like trying to like analyze that one comment that I sent you guys about that, where it's like, what the fuck is this person even talking about? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, your rating,
Alright.
Cole?
8 out of 10
Nice.
also.
Cool. Well, now, Evil Dead Dose, the second.
Groovy time.
Yeah.
It's groovy
Good
time.
one.
The plot is.
Groovin' time.
I mean, it's grooving time. Yeah. I mean, plot wise, it's the exact same thing. You know, just Bruce Campbell is stuck in a cabin, then demons tease him and try to kill him. It's the same thing as the first one. So
I mean, it's basically just like continuing like right where they leave off. They
yeah,
it starts in like
Basically,
5 minutes.
can I
He does like that.
Scott
Hey,
and the other.
Yeah, I want to talk about this for a second before we actually get into the film. So apparently there is a debate amongst like the community in terms of like whether Evil Dead 2 is like a sequel or a reboot or a remake or whatever, because apparently at least for me, I thought it was incredibly obvious that like the first like 5 minutes of the movie was just recap of what happened in the first Evil Dead. But apparently some people interpreted the first 5 minutes as like, oh, Ash is so stupid that like he brought another group of people.
Came back.
It like came back into the cabin. Like that's such an idiotic
Bruh.
theory. Like what the fuck? Like no. so like
Yeah, no.
Like I think I'll
Yeah,
take
I
that
don't-
theory just because
But
it's
then
funny.
like
Yeah.
but yeah,
I'll
like,
take that theory to the trash bin.
yeah.
I don't know how people have that theory when like Army of Darkness does kind of the same thing where it, like recaps Evil Dead 2. So
Yeah.
like
But that's not
Like,
just
yeah, I
Ash
don't-
like coming back to
yeah.
another. Yeah.
yeah.
No,
Sure,
that's
it's like the continuity's a bit weird because like, you know, he doesn't have any of the other friends with him and blah 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 blah. But like it's still kind of just giving a little context for what happened in the first film and then it like just throws you right back into it.
hmm
Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, I just thought that was a stupid thing to bring up. Anyway, Evil Dead 2. I think this is legitimately one of my favorite horror movies ever. Like, I've seen this movie so many times throughout my teenage years. Like, I loved this film to death. And what I was kind of afraid going in was like, am I gonna like grow out of this? Like, is this something I'm not gonna connect to anymore? But no, it's like it was just as fun as I remember it being. It was just as entertaining and just as awesome as the last time I saw it. Yeah, like this I think as like horror comedies go, this is like as perfect as you can get. Like I there's not a single thing that I don't like about this film. Like I love just how it just starts at 11 and then just doesn't let go. It just like goes straight into it. Like there's so much about this film, like from a technical perspective, from a filmmaking perspective to like the special effects. Like Bruce's acting is much better in this one than the first film. And it's like just like set piece after set piece after set piece. It's like it's so entertaining. It's like it's a film that like that's born to entertain you. And it's like and I think it just accomplishes it so well. So, but I don't know, how do you guys think?
It's a masterpiece of goofy horror, really,
Mm-hmm.
and you can definitely see it with that upped budget. It's like $3.5 million for this budget, but you can definitely see like the improvements on what they kind of want to do with their creatures and all that.
Yeah.
Like there's so much more vibrancy. I think I get. It doesn't seem as like gritty as it did, where it was kind of like that Saw thing, where the first one was like that $1 million budget, and it's just kind of it looks all grimy and gross, and then as you kind of progress the movies on, you see the budget kind of increase, and now everything looks a little more polished here and there, and that's kind of what I got from this too, kind of that same feel and lots of cooler creature designs.
Yeah. I think even like minor things like the blood effects like are even better in this one than in the first Evil Dead. You know, the violence I think is better in this one.
Great gore.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible gore.
Yeah.
It just has like such a great tone that just like it just stays on like 100% like just almost audacity the whole movie. Like
Yeah.
it never ever slows down.
Yeah.
Basically,
It is
Just, like,
constantly going.
how long-
Yeah.
like an hour 30 minutes.
I
or something.
think so.
About like
Hour
that.
and 20.
Yeah.
But this movie's like
Yeah.
it's like on even more adrenaline, it seems, with the pacing too.
Yeah,
yeah.
There's never
it's like
something
it's done a
that,
line
like,
of coke or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it never
Crazy
felt
out of its mind.
boring at times.
No, it's never
compared to,
boring.
like, Evil Dead.
Yeah, there is not a
It's-
single
yeah.
slow
And that's
moment in
what
the
makes it
entire
great.
film. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like it doesn't bullshit you around about like even if you've never seen the first Evil Dead, like it's just it doesn't slow down. It just starts right from the beginning
Mhm.
and then just keeps that up for the whole runtime.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Anyway,
Yeah,
Luca, your
that's fun.
thoughts? Yeah.
I mean, I think you like you started off really strong. Like it is just better than the first one in every way, and like leans into the comedic nature, and therefore I was able to connect to it easier and find it more amusing because, like I said, like when they are actually trying to do funny shit and entertaining shit, they make it fucking funny and entertaining. Like, like this one is pure camp, pure cheesy, schlocky amazingness. Yeah, so much fun. Yeah, I love this one. I love how much more like they did like with I guess the world, which is a weird thing to say, but like they really do so much more with like the little cabin and like the effects that they're able to achieve. Like they have like this fucking laughing deer head and like a crawling hand and shit and like
Oh yeah,
like yeah, it's just
That
like
Crawling
crawling
hand
hand
was so
had
funny.
one of my favorite jokes of the entire movie.
yeah, like when the
Yeah.
hand when he cuts off the hand and then it just fucking crawls off and then like gives him the finger before like running into like the
Yeah.
rat hole. Like that was oh
Yeah.
my god. And then like it's crazy. Like I don't know where I actually I remember like when Eli Roth was talking about this film, he basically called the movie like a Three Stooges film if you actually took the violence in a Three Stooges film seriously.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a perfect way to describe it, because like think like going back to that cursed hand like scene, like right before that scene, it's like a literal like Tom and Jerry goof where like his hand is like beating the shit out of him. Like the hand is like
Yeah.
crashing
Yeah.
plates on him, and like he's like getting punched in the face.
Goddamn.
And then literally right after that, he cuts it off with a chainsaw, and like blood starts like spurting onto like Bruce Campbell's face.
He
It's, like,
doesn't even fucking care.
yeah, and doesn't give a shit. It's like it's crazy that you can do this big comedy bit and then this big horror bit at the same time, but like neither feeling out of place. Like they both complement each other so well, you know? Like and
again, that's just from the great direction of Sam Raimi to kind of stay consistent within the two tones in there.
yeah, like
Yeah.
the tone warrants these kinds of extremities. Like you would think that like horror and comedy would like never work together, but like I think this is proof that like as long as you have like a super over the top, super goofy tone, then like you could have both the most violent thing ever, but also the funniest thing ever. Like they're a lot more complementary, and I think like this film is proof of that, you know? So
Yeah,
Yeah.
like also like Bruce Campbell's like not only is like his performance like like being more goofy, like just
Significantly better.
yeah,
just
he's
way
awesome
better.
in this
He's like
movie.
leaning
Yeah.
into it a lot.
Much more
He's so
His-
fucking good.
His fucking
He's groovy.
Yeah.
physical performance is amazing as well. The stuff that he's doing with like his body and having a completely different reaction on his face is like honestly astounding. Like the guy is like hitting himself and like running around and stumbling over, and like his face still looks shocked, and it's like not flinching to his own like fist, and he's like breaking fucking plates and shit over his head. It's
Yeah.
fucking it's amazing.
He's-
It's like so
The
much
plate
fun.
breaking bit is so funny.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's like and yeah, and this film has like cemented my love for Bruce Campbell, because like how far he's willing to go to make essentially the bits of this film like hit as hard as they do is just really awesome. Like I love that scene where like Bruce Campbell like he falls down and he looks up, and then like the deer head comes to life, and then all these like inanimate objects like
Looks
start
at him.
like like start laughing,
Yeah.
and like and then like he kind of like starts laughing, and he looks
It's
directly
Beauty and the Beast.
yeah, he looks
Oh,
directly at
that
the
whole
camera, and he's like sort of got this like fucking weirdo Joker look, like as he's laughing. It's like it's so good. Like Bruce Campbell like sells both the character and like what's going on at the same time, you know? So
Yeah, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
And like he has this perfect cadence for like his one-liners. Like I don't know what it is. He's so charming. He's, like-
Groovy.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it's not even the best like delivered one-liner, but just the way that he does it. Like he does it with like so nonchalantly. He's just like, yeah, groovy, and it's like yeah, hell yeah, woohoo! It's like fuck yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like he rides a fine line between like being so like dumb and also taking himself seriously.
Yeah, it's
which
like
I
he's
think
like,
is just what
he's
makes it
trying to
work.
be a badass, but it just ends up being funny because like he's equally kind of a badass, yeah, but also just such a silly, goofy guy that like it rides
Yeah.
this fine line like so perfectly.
Yeah, and it's not
he
like
really is just
oh, sorry,
really
go
he's
ahead.
just like a dumbass. Like
yeah.
he's just kind of like a
kind of
dumbass,
a
with like almost like a
doofus,
like a
basically.
dad bod just with a chainsaw.
yeah.
Mhm. Sorry, Cole, what were you saying?
Oh, nothing much. That was like just kind of agreeing with everything.
Oh,
else.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, because
Yeah.
I love, I can imagine like in another universe, this would have been like some shitty like Deadpool thing where like Bruce Campbell like winks at the camera and goes like, "That was bad, wasn't it?" or something. Like, I think the fact that his character just takes this shit so seriously, but what's happening is so stupid and goofy. Like,
Yeah.
that's what sells the comedy, you know, like more than anything. Because like this isn't a film that has like jokes per se. Like no one's like I mean, like, there are, like, one-liners for sure, but, like, that's not the comedy you remember. The comedy is, like, more like the physical gags, you know, like him crashing his plates, like, over his head or whatever, you know, or, like, that one, like...
Cutting his hand off.
Yeah, chopping his head off, or even, like, some of the side characters. Like, the side characters easily could have been this annoying pieces of shit, but, like, they're just as funny and, like, entertaining as, like, Bruce Campbell. Like, that one, like, redneck dude who's like, what the fuck was his wife's name? Like,
Yeah.
what was...
Something.
Definitely
something
looking it up
Joe.
right
Barbara
now.
Joe.
Yeah, Barbara Joe. Like, when he goes, I was
That
like,
might have been
Barbara Joe.
Barbara Joe, where are you? You know? So... yeah, so...
Bobby Joe.
Bobby
but
Joe, yeah.
Oh, Bobby Joe.
Yeah,
Bobby
I
Joe.
fact
That's
checked.
Yeah,
Okay.
so-
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, the side characters, like, they're into it as just as much as Bruce Campbell. Like, just
Yeah.
when after Bruce I should stop calling him Bruce Ash, like, I guess breaks his
Ash.
curse when he looks at the necklace that, like, Linda gives him or whatever, and he's like, oh my god, like, love or whatever, you know, like, it cures
The
him.
amount of importance like this goddamn necklace plays in both films is like, it's so
So
silly.
funny.
Yeah.
It's like,
And it practically
Yeah.
means nothing. Like, there's no, like,
yeah,
deeper
it literally
symbolism.
means fucking nothing.
nothing at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack shit.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just hilarious, and that's what's so great about it.
Yeah, like, this did the...
It knows that it's not going to be like this, high artsy fartsy pretentious horror film. It's just, this fun goofy horror film that these guys made, and they're just like, fuck it.
Yeah, like, this is a film where it's like, this is one of the few films where I go, there's no, like, there are no deep characters, there's no, like, deep story or theme, but at the same time, I don't give a shit, because, yeah, like you said, Cole, that's not what the movie is. Like, the movie isn't trying to be some, like, deep existential, like, I'm thinking of ending things like horror film or some shit. It's just trying to be pure fun. Like, this is as fun as you can get with, like, a horror film, you know? Like, and yeah, it's just, like, the filmmaking and, like, the blood effects and, like, the special effects and, like, the prosthetics. It's, like, these are the things that really sell the film. Like, I can't believe this movie only had, like, what did you say? Like, $3 million or something, like, budget-wise?
2.5, something like that?
Yeah, like, it's crazy that they had so little money, but they could make everything, like, so effectively hit so hard, you know?
Yeah.
I know, and it makes you kind of
Yeah.
sad that there's other movies that have huge-ass budgets and they're complete
And they
shit.
look like shit. Yeah. So,
Marvel.
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
Throw everything at the kitchen sink and you'll get something like this movie did.
mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. You'll strike that lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm. Yeah. Is there anything you guys...
It worked for Sam Raimi, it'll work for us.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
then it doesn't.
Yeah. Is there anything you guys, like, disliked about the film? Because I'm struggling to, like, find something that I dislike
No.
about this. Yeah. So,
Genuinely, no.
yeah.
Nothing that I really dislike about it. It's just like perfect.
Mhm.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, unironically, this is a masterpiece. Like, you can't get better than this when it comes to horror comedy. Like, the only, like, other horror
No,
comedy...
Nothing will ever beat this.
Yeah, like, the only other, like, horror comedy that I can think of that comes close to this is, like, I don't know, maybe, like, Shaun of the Dead or something. But, like, even Shaun of the Dead, like, there are points where, like, the film
yeah.
still takes itself
Or if
seriously.
you count if you count Bodies as a horror comedy.
I guess so.
That's a horror comedy, I would say so.
I mean,
Yeah.
but that's not
Yeah.
anywhere near as good as Evil Dead 2, though. So,
Yeah, that's true, but
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, this
I don't
will
know.
probably be my
there's not many
favorite horror
good
movie.
horror comedies out there. I don't think.
No.
No.
Because they don't know
not
how to
a-
blend the horror and the comedy is a thing, probably.
Yeah, because, like, there are very few directors who can blend both horror and comedy together. Like, it's hard to blend two different genres or tones anyway, and the fact that, like, Sam Raimi essentially did it, like, 3 fucking times, like, kind of proves how talented he is as a filmmaker, you know? Like, because I don't want to
Yeah.
undersell, like, the actual directing, because the directing also makes these movies as entertaining as they are, you know? Like, the editing, for
Yeah.
example, like, when he's, like, gearing up and, like, he's, like, building, like, the chainsaw hand, like, you can clearly tell, like, Edgar Wright was like hugely inspired by this film, because the way that like that gearing up scene is edited together, like that screamed Edgar Wright. It's like, and then when he ends it with like groovy, it's like, oh man, it's like it's so good, you know? So
Yeah, I was about to say that kind of
It's
reminded
just
me
so
of that.
dumb.
It just reminds me of like Shaun of the Dead, you know, when it's Simon Pegg and he's like getting ready for work and it's like quick cut, quick cut.
yeah, or like Hot Fuzz. Yeah, like pretty much all of Edgar Wright's films does that. Yeah. Yeah. I genuinely like.
The camera is like always fucking moving in this film. That's what I love. It's like fucking flowing.
There's never a still shot.
He like
It's got
falls
such
into
a
like
great flow.
a mud puddle, and the fucking camera just goes into the sky.
Oh my
like,
god, the very first
it's-
opening, like the very first scene, I guess it's not the very first scene, but like the way this movie starts, like it essentially starts, it picks up exactly where Evil Dead 2 left off, and when like Bruce is like thrown into like the fucking air and he's like and he's like spinning around and like his head is like jittering and shit, that like come on, that's awesome. Like I love that shit.
Oh, and the one where like it's like the one of him running through the house.
Oh
that
my
was-
god.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That was
being chased.
fucking
And the-
godly.
I don't
Yeah.
know how he's like running through that without being hit by like any of the fucking wooden beams and shit. Like,
Yeah.
like damn, it's like
I'm glad you
Yeah,
brought that
like-
scene
He
up
actually,
because
he actually manages to lose the ghost or the
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that scene up because I think that scene is the perfect capture I don't know.
encapsulation.
Yeah, capsulation.
Encapsulation.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
both horror and comedy in this film, because like it's scary in the sense that, you know, like a ghoul is chasing after him, a ghost is chasing after him, but like the way that like he just kind of like crashes through all these doors, and like Jules mentioned, like when he fucking loses the ghost, like that's
Yeah.
it's really funny, but it's like it's scary at the same time, you know, like fuck you, Alejandro Inarritu, like you wish you had a oneer like this. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I genuinely don't.
He's Evil Dead.
Yeah, I genuinely don't have any issues with the film. Like I for the life of me can't name a single thing I don't like about the film.
Yeah, no, it's just
Yeah.
Pure fun.
nothing really sticks out.
Yeah.
Pure fun.
I would honestly say if John Carpenter's The Thing wasn't out in the same decade, this is probably my favorite horror movie of the 80s.
Oh yeah, didn't they come out around the same year? I think, or
82 was The Thing. This was
Oh,
like
okay.
86, 87.
okay, so I'm way
Yeah,
off.
this is 87.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What about The Shining?
that's
Shining
Came out in
1980.
the 80s,
Yeah,
technically.
yeah,
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
I like The Thing much more, though.
yeah.
Fair.
I
The
mean,
tension in that is just... It's so good.
I feel like it's tough because it's like, I mean,
Mhm.
Well, this could
And
be
don't
your
get me wrong,
favorite
The Shining's
comedy of the
great, too.
decade.
yeah, it's like because
Yeah.
I also love The Shining, but I love The Shining for different reasons from like liking Evil Dead 2, you know? Like
True.
Yeah.
yeah.
like they're completely different movies. So
So this is like genuinely like if I had to like rank films from 1987, this would be above like Stanley Kubrick's Full Metal Jacket.
oh yeah, they came out the same. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck.
Honestly,
1987 was a shit year for
I
movies.
honestly would agree with that. That second half in Full Metal Jacket was a little...
yeah.
I've kind
tapers off a little
love
bit,
Full Metal
but it's still
Jacket.
great.
I mean, yeah, we'll
I
get
like the second act more, honestly.
really. I've kind of warmed up to the.
Oh.
Really?
I've warmed up to the second act because the first time I saw Full Metal Jacket, I agreed with you guys, but I think when I gave it a rewatch, I was like, I actually kind of really dug the second half this time, you know. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely
Gotta
want to.
give it a rewatch.
Yeah, I want to recommend Full Metal Jacket at some point anyway. So we'll have this discussion.
I'm
in the
sure we
future.
will.
Yeah. So.
And talk about how
Exactly.
great the Vietnam War was
Oh yeah, the best.
and how uncontroversial it was.
Yeah. So
So
Yeah,
good.
I don't know.
Oh,
if
I'm
you...
gonna
that one
recommend
song.
the Vietnam War movie first.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys know this, and I showed Cole this when we were watching Evil Dead 2 together. The guy who plays the redneck, he was actually in the subway fight of Spider-Man 2. He's like just a random pedestrian.
really?
Yeah. And
Yep.
and
Oh, I think I actually recognize.
Yeah, and
that, yeah.
and the guy who co-wrote Evil Dead 2 with Sam Raimi, Scott Spiegel, he was the guy who pulled the pizza out of the pizza box when in the opening of Spider-Man 2. Like when he like dropped the pizza in front of that guy, that's the guy who co-wrote Evil Dead 2 with Raimi. So
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
lots of parallels, lots and lots of parallels. And apparently Ted Raimi played the evil deadite mom of that of one girl. That was really, really great.
Yep.
Yeah.
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 And like all the fucking like actors were like blind in their like contacts and stuff. They couldn't see shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just love the Deadites just designs in general. I mean, we'll get into this when we talk about the shitty remake, but I just love like the white pupils, like they're just like no life in their eyes sort of thing. Oh, and speaking of which, we'll get into Army of Darkness soon, but like I want to comment on one more scene I really, really fucking love. It's the scene where he goes into the cabin with like Linda's head, and he just like opens the curtain and goes like chainsaw, but there's no chainsaw, and then like the fucking headless Linda crashes into like the shed with the chainsaw, but then it gets like sliced in half, and then Ash, Jesus, I gotta stop doing that. When Ash is about to cut Linda, Linda like goes back and goes like, Ashley, you said we'd be together forever, and then Ash goes like, no, but then it goes back to being a deadite, and he's like, oh fuck you, I'm gonna chop you up. It's like
you're not human anymore, you're dead to me.
Yeah, like holy like
literally.
What a fucking turn. Like Jesus. Yeah.
The fucking legend.
Yeah, and that all happens like what, in the span of like 3 to 5 minutes? Like holy shit. So,
Yeah.
so good. I could talk about this movie for fucking days. Like if we didn't have like 2 other Evil Dead movies to talk about, I could like talk about this for like another hour.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, we
But we do have 2 others.
yeah, we have
Evil
2
Dead
others, so we should probably move on. Yeah. And does anyone else have anything like dying to say about Evil Dead 2 or
I don't think so. I think I got everything regurgitated out of my mouth.
Yeah.
So.
Because at a certain point, like when we commented how like the good filmmaking is and like the tone and like the character, it's like at some point we're just gonna talk about all of our favorite scenes, which is just all the movie. So yeah.
The whole movie.
Yeah.
There's nothing that is better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
It's like great scene, masterpiece.
Yeah. So anyway, 10 out of 10, fucking perfect, love it.
Yep, same. I'm also at 10 out of 10. Don't get any more groovy than this.
Mm-hmm. Groovalicious.
Well, it does.
Yeah.
In the next one. For me, it's like an 8. I think it's a ton of fun. I still really enjoy the fun, but I don't think it's like a 10 out of 10 masterpiece for me, but I still really love it.
So you hated it.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Just said I really loved it.
Yeah.
I literally just said that I loved it.
But you gave a score lower than us, so you hated it, basically,
Yeah.
according to the rating scale.
It's the IGN logic of things. If you didn't give it a 9 or higher, then you fucking hated it. Yeah.
All right.
10 out of 10 also.
Nice. So
I know, what a shock.
I know, crazy.
Wow.
So anyway,
I know.
Yeah, next one, the fucking trilogy concluder.
Evil Dead
3. I mean Medieval Dead. I mean Army of Darkness. Yeah. So yeah.
Damn.
So yeah, this one actually has a plot, so I can actually say something about this one plot wise. So it takes place literally right after the end of Evil Dead 2. Ash gets transported into another world. It's basically like an isekai, an anime. And he's thrown back into like the 1300s, and turns out the Deadites were plaguing this, this English village kingdom, whatever. So now it's kind of like Lord of the Rings. He has to like lead this army into finishing off the Deadites once and for all. It's no, it's not. But it's actually I in retrospect, I think this film has more in common with something like Monty Python and the Holy Grail than like Lord of the Rings, because there were a lot of like Monty Python-esque like gags in the film that I found, like, because Yeah,
Yeah.
the film was a lot funnier than I remember it being. I mean, I always found it funny. I always found it entertaining, but like wow, like this is it's kind of like this is sort of like a natural progression of like the first two Evil Dead films. So like if the first Evil Dead was trying to be a serious horror film, and then the second Evil Dead is basically like trying to be both a horror film and a comedy. This one is just straight up a comedy. I mean, there are like horror elements to be sure, but this is like
Yeah.
this is basically a comedy. Like it's not scary parts like don't exist anymore. It's just like comedy
Yeah,
goofy
there
shit.
is-
Yeah. So
Yeah, there's like barely any horror in this.
yeah, like even the
Yeah, even
Deadites
if it's,
aren't
like,
aren't portrayed
quote-unquote
as
scary
scary.
stuff.
Yeah, like the
It's funny.
yeah, the Deadites aren't as scary in this one as in like Evil Dead 1 or sorry, Evil Dead 2 or even Evil Dead 1.
Just skeletons.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's basically like that one episode of SpongeBob where they're trying to find the 10-gallon hat that Smitty, whatever his name was, he was number one
Mhm.
was, and then Mr. Krabs is fighting that army of the dead. It's like that.
That's kind of that's kind of clever. Yeah. So, yeah, anyway,
They stole it from Army.
yeah. I love Army of Darkness.
Where was his hat, Mr. Krabs?
Yeah.
He was number one.
Yeah. Anyway, what did you all think of Army of Darkness? I really love this one as well. I don't love this as much as Evil Dead 2. I think Evil Dead 2 is still my favorite of the original trilogy, but man, this is also a really, really awesome film. So,
Yeah, I watched this a second
I-
time and I loved it even more.
yeah.
Like I have like a few little problems with it, but it's like it's great.
Mhm. Yeah, Jules?
I had never actually seen this one before, so this was like my first time watching it because because I didn't actually know it was an Evil Dead movie for a long time, and then I was like, it can't be that good if it's not called Evil Dead 3 for some reason. And then I finally watched it, and I fucking love it. It's so fucking it's so goofy, and like it doesn't take itself too serious, or not too seriously. It doesn't take itself
I mean,
seriously at all.
The characters still take this
Yeah.
seriously. It's like Evil Dead 2 where it's like
Oh, yeah.
they think
Yeah.
they're in some like serious ass like historical epic, but like everything is so stupid and goofy, you know? Yeah. So
This
Yeah,
right
and-
here. Oh, you can go, Jules.
Yeah.
No, you can.
No, you go first.
Okay. This right here is the best Evil Dead movie.
that's
Really?
actually kind of based.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I respect that. Yeah.
Controversial.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Super controversial. How dare you?
Not even called Evil Dead, but they should have called it the Medieval Dead. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with them.
Why-
Yeah,
I know,
that's a
that would have
very
been a
missed
much better
opportunity.
title.
Yeah, why didn't they
Yeah.
I swear to God that was like a altered
It was one of the titles, but then they like decided not to.
Yeah.
I think they wanted to
Oh, that's
distance
dumb.
it from Evil Dead or something. I can't actually fully remember the reason.
Yeah, because I was surprised. Like, why
Um,
didn't they just call this like
that's
Evil
lame.
Dead 3? Like, because I'm sure like that it like I'm sure the consumers like back then would have been just as confused as Jules, where it's like they didn't even realize like Army of Darkness was like the third Evil Dead film. So I'm just like, I guess I'm a bit confused why they didn't just call it
I
Evil
think
Dead
that
3.
might have been the reason why they did it though, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, this is my favorite Evil Dead movie. I just fucking love it. I think the like everything that we like appreciated about the second film is just cranked up even more here, and there's just like more of it. It's like it has the most budget to it, and I just think that they fucking use
At
all of
$100
that
instead of
budget.
$50.
Yeah.
like yeah, to like the max to the like just like perfectly, like all the sets, all the technical aspects I feel like are like their best at this point. It's just awesome. It's hilarious. I love the setting and how like goofy it is and what they like do with it, and like there's like scenes where he's like showing off his fucking shotgun to like a bunch of fucking like,
This is my
like,
boomstick.
My
boomstick.
My
And then he like
boomstick.
transforms his
Shop
car
smart.
into like
What's up?
Stop as smart.
Yeah.
yeah. And it's just so goofy and so campy, and peaks here. I love it. yeah, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, just I think the bits in this one are just like even funnier than like
Yeah,
Evil
oh
Dead
my
2. Like
goodness.
I still to this day just randomly think about like the evil Ash like scene where he's like, "Don't you know? You're a little goody two shoes. You're a
evil
little goody.
Ash."
I'm evil Ash. You're a little goody
Yeah.
two shoes." Like I still think about that scene every now and then because of how stupid
Goes
it
on.
is. Like it's really
It
goofy.
goes on for so long.
Yeah, like I'm surprised how long that scene is because it starts out with like this stupid Tom and Jerry gag where it's like, oh, they're like small ashes, like they're all
Yeah,
evil, and like
That's so good.
they
I
stick a
love it.
fork up his ass and shit like that, and like he like falls on his face like on this like hot like metal. It's like it's so stupid and so goofy, but it's so funny at the same time. It's like it's like yeah, you got it exactly right. It's like Evil Dead. It's like the film just exists to entertain. It is just pure fun. Like don't take anything seriously. There's no deep characters, just like some wacky shit for like an hour and a half, you know? And I fucking love it. So
I think my favorite bit of this film is just when he when his like his lover, I guess, turns medieval lover just turns evil at the end.
Oh yeah.
And he says like, "Oh, I thought you loved me," and he just says, "Honey, you got real ugly," and he like flips her off the roof.
Yeah, like I said, I think the one-liners in this film, like there's a lot more of them, and they're just perfect.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Hail to the king, baby! At
Yeah.
the end, oh my goodness, that is
Yeah.
perfect.
And then he
Did you
just
say
kisses the
every
random
day?
female
Yeah.
worker.
It is.
And then 20
He's
years
kind of
later,
like
perfect.
he's kind of
assault.
like a misogynist almost.
yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but like
But he's so charming.
Yeah, he's
but,
so
like,
I was about to
stupid.
say.
is-
yeah, he's a himbo.
I was about to
He's like
Yeah,
He's like
that's
Kronk.
the,
Basically.
that's the word.
he's Kronk from
He's
Emperor's New
Kronk.
Groove. Yeah, so
The shotgun,
he-
Kronk.
well, you got
wrong
me.
shotgun.
Well, you got me. None of this makes any sense. So, yeah.
I mean, even then, you could say like there would be someone that try to cancel him because he's like too gropey, maybe.
Cool.
Cool guy. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, but he's a Giga Chad.
hmm Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
he's a good chap.
I think Bruce Campbell. I don't know. I mean, Bruce Campbell's still great in this film, but it's like, it's just when he like is giving like rowdy speeches and stuff like that, and like in this particular setting where it's like he's still great.
I'm done running.
Yeah, but it's like, but in Evil Dead 2, I think like what he does is like it's just perfect. Like it fits exactly. And in this one, it's like you know his character like and the comedy pertaining to him. It's still funny. It's still really really funny and entertaining. But it's like, but there's something about that Evil Dead 2 like specific like stuck in a cabin, you know, like crazy shit happening every like 10 seconds, you know. It's like I think there's something about that was just more endearing than this one, you know. So and that would be like my only like slight issue because other than that, yeah, like I also have zero issues with this film. Like there's not a single thing that I dislike about the film. Yeah, so
It doesn't keep up like the same like constant like just absolutely crazy insane pace that Evil Dead 2 does, but I think like it kind of has like a bit more slower scenes, like especially at the start and stuff. But yeah, it is still incredibly entertaining. I love the way they handle like exposition as well. Like Ash just says it in the movie, like when he's riding back to the castle. He's like, oh, yeah, you're gonna do my end of the deal now, and then you're gonna send me home. like they didn't even try, and that's what makes it so good.
They literally start off the film with like, so you're probably wondering how I got in this situation.
That's how all those beginnings feel like. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
I love how like
so here's what happened in the previous one.
I love how in
Hey,
each
that's me.
I love how in subsequent film Linda looks nothing like how she was in like the previous movie that Linda was in like in Evil
I
Dead 2.
know.
No.
It's so stupid. And I
Yeah.
love
so stupid, but it just adds on to it, kind of. Honestly,
and the way that Ash says the line,
other
like,
than-
it's the 1300s and I'm a slave. And I just like the way he says that. It's just,
like, oh boy,
yeah. So, oh my God. I love Bruce Campbell so much. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did
no.
you say all the words, Ash? I might have missed a few syllables, but
Yeah.
I basically
Of
said the
course,
words.
Ash would fuck that shit
Yeah,
up. It is
exactly.
So, it's
Yeah.
so funny.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because like I feel like even the
Yeah.
horror, what little there is just played for laughs. It's just another
Mhm.
gag in the film. You know, like when the skeletons like rise up and like grab him and like put their fingers in his mouth and like in his nose and shit like that. It's like
Yeah.
this isn't scary anymore. It's just stupid comedy. It's just wacky Three
Straight
Stooges.
up comedy.
Yeah, it's just wacky Three Stooges comedy, but that's what makes it work, you know? Like, because now they've completely ditched the horror, and it's just straight up a Monty Python, the Holy Grail comedy, and in terms of that, it works really, really well. Yeah, so
Yeah, I was about to mention, even the first time he does try to say the words, he's like, he can't remember the third one. He's like, it's an N-word.
Yeah.
It's an N-word. And then I was like, what if you just straight up just said the N-word right there?
No, that
I
would
mean,
not be
Like, what
cool.
if he just like couldn't
1992,
remember?
anything could
I
happen.
think they were cutting it
It
close
was.
with that joke,
Yeah.
but it was still kind of funny. But like, yeah, no, this film.
They knew what they were doing, definitely.
yeah, no, they
Oh,
they
yeah,
definitely were
definitely.
self-aware about
They were
this.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, Ash
we
kissing.
gotta do some play on words on that.
Yeah, Ash kissing women without their consent, that's cool. But the moment he says the N-word, that's just a complete no-go from there. So
Yeah, he's a piece of shit then.
yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, even I feel.
I mean, he's still kind of a piece of shit.
No, he is.
But it's so funny.
Yeah.
Like
He is-
I
he is
love
undoubtedly
the
a piece
cut
of
when
shit.
like I love that first scene where he like kind of like kills the Deadites and climbs through the cage, and then straight after that, everyone thinks he's the savior, and it just cuts to him like in the chair with all the women
Yeah.
around him eating
Grapes.
got some wine. It's like, oh my god, of course.
I never realized this film has been so spoofed, because I swear to God, like in a lot of like Cartoon Network and like Nickelodeon shows, like there are elements about this movie that I think have been spoofed. I can't name any specifically, but it's like when I was rewatching this, it's like, wow, like I kind of remember all this, like even before I saw Army of Darkness, you know, and like a lot of the things that it spoofed. So
I think like just the medieval times is like inherently like a
Probably.
very easy thing to spoof, and like it has certain
I guess so.
things about it.
Yeah.
Like that shit with the grapes, like that's been done in so many fucking
Oh,
things.
so
yeah,
many.
Yeah.
pretty much.
I don't know if
many.
it was even
Rome.
originally done in Army of Darkness.
Yeah, I was gonna
to be
say,
honest,
did
but
Army of
it's
Darkness
good.
pioneer the fucking grape scene that every other like cartoon and like comedy does?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wasn't mad about the special effects at all, because you'd think that like with like this has what, like $11 million budget or something like that. Is that whoever said the budget? $11 million, like it's or something like
I'm
that.
fact checking.
Yeah, well, either way, it like
It's like
this had a higher budget definitely than Evil Dead 2, but like, and it still had like some of the
awesome,
kind
like-
of like dated special effects that were in
The skeletons.
Evil Dead 2. Yeah, with the skeletons, like the fucking
the
stop
skeletons are
motion.
still fucking. They look cool though. Like
No, they look
I think
cool,
the-
but like they
I
also
think
look
the
goofy.
Look,
only-
yeah, they look cool,
Yeah.
but like
hmm
I think the only
look like YouTube green screens.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think
yeah.
the only like ugly shot in this film is like the Ash's like trying to prop open the big Ash's mouth. Like that was very dated.
Oh,
yeah.
oh my god!
That was
I
like-
still
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that scene.
yeah.
It's still it's dated for sure, but I love that. I love that bit. I
No,
love
yeah,
that
no,
scene,
it's
yeah.
it's still
It's so
still
funny though.
Yeah, like
Just the small ash is fucking her out the big ash.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's this movie. Yeah, it's fee fi fo fum. It's
London
It's that for the
Bridge
nail.
falling down.
yeah.
But yeah, like with the visual effects and like the set pieces and stuff, they're just awesome. Like I still think the skeletons and stuff definitely look better than like that weird dancing headless lady in the second film.
Yeah, this is one of those films
And,
where it's like I'm not offended by the dated special effects. If anything, like the
Yeah.
dated special effects, like add an extra bit of charm.
Add to the charm.
Yeah, it adds to the
Yeah.
charm. Like when he punches that skeleton's face and it fucking like spins around. It's like whoa, whoa, whoa. You know, it's like that's so fun. That's so cool. It's like this movie is
yeah.
fun. There's no other way
And
to
not
say
even
it.
all of them are dated. Like some of the stuff still looks really good. Like it's really impressive. Like
Yeah, I guess dated is an
especially the
extreme.
set pieces.
Yeah, I guess dated is an extreme word. I didn't mean to use dated. More just like, I guess like obvious. I guess that's the better.
No,
word
no,
to
I
use.
think dated is definitely the word. It's
Okay.
just like Like if you think about like other 90s movies, like Jurassic Park, shit like that, they had all the money, but like this feels like it should be an older movie with like the effects that it has, but it's not. It's like a 90s movie, but it still is so good and like yeah, maybe it feels like not ahead of its time, but it still is great and like it's so much fun and like yeah, the set pieces are just like fantastic. I love that like that cage or
Castle
like pit,
siege.
that pit
Oh yeah.
fight scene in the beginning and all the fucking blood spewing out like at the end of it. Yeah, and the castle siege is awesome as well.
Oh
and,
yeah,
like, and
definitely.
all the skeletons rising from the grave. Like yeah, there's so many sets. There's so many great action sequences and fun moments with the effects, like the car, like the modified car, like Ash is just driving around.
Yeah, some fucking Mad Max ass shit.
Yeah.
Like some like twisted metal kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's just
And the
it's
fact
just
that they
amazing.
recreated that scene from Evil Dead 2 where he's like gearing up and like getting a new arm or whatever and he just like
Yeah.
groovy. I think the way he delivered groovy in that one was
Groovy.
even better than how he delivered it in Evil Dead 2.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, fucking wild.
So the supporting
And then like
supporting
So
characters, like the guy who's only
Merlin.
known as like wise guy. Yeah, the Merlin guy.
Yeah.
I'm actually very familiar with that actor because he was the voice of the Emperor in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, which was a
oh,
very big
wow.
TV show for me.
Oh,
as a kid.
Really?
okay.
Wait, so
He was also in a David
Wait,
Lynch
really?
movie.
wait, Ian McDermott
Yeah.
or
Ooh.
the
No, Ian
No,
Ian
no,
Abercrombie.
okay.
Ian Abercrombie, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, I thought
He was also in who was also in David Lynch's Inland Empire and Garfield: A Tale of Two Kitties in the same year.
Oh, that masterpiece.
what a
Wow.
Pure Kino
what a
right there.
varied what a varied filmography.
He played a butler in both roles actually.
Wow.
Crazy coincidence.
The-
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah.
that
Anyway,
actor-
kind of tangent, but anyway,
Mhm.
he was great in the film.
Yeah. I love
Yeah.
yeah.
I love the bit at the end, like when like King Henry's men come in and they're like all standing, and then they just drop their weapons and hug, and then Ash is just like, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Like also the implication that it was only like two castles that were only like a little way away from each other. It was like
Yeah.
20 men.
yeah. It's like so funny. It's like at the end. It's like, oh, everyone's fled. We only have 60 men. It's like, bruh, that is clearly just you guys not having enough actors, and that's totally okay.
Yeah, no,
like there
it's
would definitely be more people.
yeah, no, that bit is exactly like how, like in Monty Python, The Holy Grail, like they couldn't afford horses, so they just like banged a bunch of coconuts together. It's like that
Yeah.
kind of
Hanging a
joke.
bunch of coconuts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
definitely.
we only have 60 men. You know? It's like,
Yeah.
bro, that is dank. Yeah,
Bruh, come on.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
man,
It's
it's
fucking awesome.
yeah, it's
What I love about the siege scene at the end is like normally in like battle sequences you have like oh, the enemy wins in the beginning, but then the heroes like overcome the enemy by the end. In this one they just like start like absolutely like overcoming them from the get-go. They're like blowing them up with like
yeah,
gunpowder and shit, and like shooting them
Gunpowder,
with flaming
arrows.
yeah. Like
Yeah, there's just so many explosions. It's like
Ash
it's
easily
great.
beats like the main Deadeye captain. Like it takes him like what, like 2 minutes to kick his
Yeah.
ass. Like Jesus.
He's like
Yeah.
also
Basically.
like kicking like so many skeletons, just absolutely like bodying them.
Yeah.
But like yeah.
Yeah, this is like
Easiest final boss in gaming history.
exactly. This is like the opposite of a Dark Souls game. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just had like so many like oncoming ladders, like they just didn't run out at any point.
The funniest bit for me was like when like evil Ash like kicks down the ladder and then like walks away, and then regular Ash, instead of just picking the ladder up, he like goes for like the chain thing with like the gunpowder and does like that classic like using the weight to get up. Like
Oh yeah.
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 It's
Yeah.
it's so it's yeah, the movie just doesn't give a shit. Like I'm and not in like a derogatory way. It's just like in the best way possible, it doesn't give a shit. Yeah, it's just fun. It's like, yeah, this is
Yeah.
all stupid, but like that's what's fun about it, you know? Like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
there really is nothing to complain about the film, you know? It's just like it's pure entertainment. It's pure fun. Like,
It's
Yeah,
to shut your
literally.
brain off and enjoy the damn movie.
yeah,
Marvel fans were right
Yep.
all along.
yeah, Marvel fans were right all along.
I think this is the only time where that excuse is valid.
Yeah.
I think there's
Honestly,
plenty of
I would
times
agree.
when that excuse is valid, but this is one of the best times.
Mhm.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Man,
Yeah.
it's yeah. Do you guys have any like? I mean, I gotta pose the same questions again. Like, do you guys have any issues with the film? Is there anything you dislike? I mean, I mentioned like my personal preference, but I don't. That's not an issue. That's just more like my taste than anything. Yeah, like because I don't. This is also a movie where I genuinely can't think of anything I dislike.
Other than like the dated special effects, which didn't bother me too much with it, the kind of quote unquote romance he has, Ash, didn't really
yeah.
feel that.
With
I don't know. It didn't
Sheila.
feel like
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. That one didn't really work with me. I don't know why, but that one was just like you're just trying to hit on her right now, and it's not working. Like I know you're trying to be like a Giga Chad right now, but you're kind of being like that frat bro right now.
Well, he is a Giga
like,
Chad.
hey baby,
Yeah.
check out my guns
But
and my guns.
the way Bruce delivered that line was just still so funny, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, baby. Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, baby.
Yeah. Awesome
Yeah,
movie.
awesome. Yeah. I mean, I guess we should just get into ratings then. Yeah, unless there's anything else we should talk about.
I just want to quickly say that, like, also the ending is perfect.
Oh yeah, the ending's
Like,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I love that little, like, shopping mart scene. Yeah.
Yeah, Ted.
And he's-
Another Ted
yeah.
Raimi cameo where it's like, "Are you sure?" It's like, for
Yeah.
a second, I was like, "Are you Hoffman from the Spider-Man movies?" It's like,
Just imagine, like, that dude hearing this whole ass story, and like the thing he has to say is not like, what the fuck, that sounds like bullshit. It's like, did you say the things again, right though? And then like a fucking Deadite appears in the store, and he shoots like fucking like 20 bullets out of his shotgun.
now that I think about it,
Oh my-
isn't that crazy
Yeah.
that like this entire trilogy like happens within the span of like what, like 3 days or something?
Yeah, something crazy.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And he just goes back to work afterward. He just goes straight back to
Yeah,
work.
it's like-
Just doesn't even care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
big deal.
Like,
Whatever.
what a
Yeah.
Committed
Yeah, it's
work.
just like, it took a few days off. I probably missed a little college here and there, but yeah, I'm back.
Oh yeah, he looks so old in this one. I forgot he's supposed to be like a college student. or
Yeah,
something. Like,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
Well, and that's what happens when the first and the third are like 12 years apart. So
Yeah.
But again, like it's like I can't even be mad at that because in the same way there it's like they literally just change Linda's actress like literally every single fucking movie. It's like they don't give a shit. They don't give a fuck about continuity. Like who cares? You know?
yeah, no,
They cut out two of the characters, and that's the whole reason for the debate of like whether it's a remake or not.
Yeah. Like and apparently Sam Raimi
I mean, they even retconned the ending of Evil Dead 2, because the end of Evil Dead 2, like the knights come in and they're like, "Oh my god, it's the savior!" But then
Oh,
in
yeah.
this
yeah.
one,
Oh
in
yeah.
this one, it just starts off with them, and then they have to figure out that he's the savior.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like
Yeah, like
yeah,
continuity.
the continuity is not there.
Yeah, the continuity
It's
does
just
get
fun.
a
It's just
little
entertainment.
Yeah.
inconsistent for like a second maybe.
Yeah, continuity in these movies is like physics in the Fast and Furious movies. It's just this thing that they just wipe their ass with. It's like something to not think about whatsoever. Yeah, because like,
I think you
Yeah.
forgot, Timmy. It's about family.
of course, yeah, familia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy that Sam Raimi didn't make more Evil Dead films after this because I would have loved to see more evil. I mean, I guess you could say like,
Well, he did. He kind of made the remake. He produced and wrote it.
yeah,
so-
I mean, we'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
I was just gonna mention like Drag Me to Hell is also basically an Evil Dead film anyway, so it's like I'm surprised that one
Yeah.
wasn't called Evil
Love
Dead
Drag
4.
Me to Hell.
Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, it's quite different. It's like, I don't think that's an Evil Dead movie. Like, yeah, it's the same style and stuff, but that's just Sam Raimi's style.
Yeah,
really.
I guess so.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, want to get into ratings or?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm giving this one a 9 out of 10, closer to a 10 than an 8. But yeah, I love this one as well. I really, really love it. Mm-hmm.
Right there with you. I'm giving it a 9. I don't know why I didn't watch it before, but I'm glad I did now.
How did you not figure out this was an Evil Dead film, like the final film in the trilogy? That's
No,
what
I did figure it out a while ago, but then I was just like, I don't know.
Just
It can't be that
It's not
good.
named
Nothing's
Evil
gonna
Dead
be.
3, so it's probably
Yeah,
not good.
basically, and I was
It
just
from,
like,
30
yeah.
minutes ago.
I mean, apparently, like people back then didn't even like this as much as we do, because like it has the lowest Rotten Tomatoes score or something, as like a 69 or some shit like that. It's like, what?
Nice.
Yeah. So,
Nice.
mhm. But
Is it that bad if it's got that nice of a score? I don't know.
I don't know,
That's
Yeah.
pretty nice.
or maybe they did that on purpose. So
That's
Ooh,
what I
it's
hope.
meta.
yeah, it's meta.
It's meta. Then I'll bring Ryan Reynolds in the next one. Then it'll be super meta. And then get all the Scream people.
Then it would really be fucking an Evil and Dead experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also a 9. I think this is the Evil Dead that could like become a 10 for me, because like there's like nothing that I really like about it, but I'll keep it there for now. Maybe, I don't know. It's just fucking awesome movie. It's probably my favorite Sam Raimi movie as
Oh,
well.
really?
Like, yeah, I just love this
Mhm.
thing. I think it fully goes for it. It commits to its nature and its funny campiness, and yeah, it's awesome stuff.
Yeah, and I'm going to go a 9 as well. Great movie.
Wow, we all agree on something.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
Speaking of things we didn't
Yay.
agree
Yeah,
with.
speaking of which,
Yeah, speaking of.
yeah, I guess it's time. I guess it's time for the thing, the piece of shit one.
The great one. Timmy's favorite movie ever made.
Yes, my favorite.
horror remake.
Yeah.
Watched this morning.
Yeah, Evil Dead remake. This now we're just not getting into the groovy ones anymore. So it's a remake, as I said, of the original Evil Dead. Except this time it tries to have a story, except when it doesn't fucking feel like having a story anymore. Basically, the premise is that a group of friends take their friend to a cabin because she's a drug addict or a heroin addict or some shit, and they want her to quit cold turkey, but then
Keep her captive.
yeah, keep her cabin fever, and then just
Hold her hostage.
yeah, but then just Evil Dead shit happens, I guess, because I guess none of these fuckers can read because the book says do not read this book or it will kill you, and then this fucker goes, nah, I'm sure it won't be that bad, and then reads it anyway. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? It's
the Bye-Bye Man.
yeah. So anyway,
They
It
do that
literally
shit
says
like,
in the
first
book.
film, so-
It literally says in the book or something like,
It
"Don't
does
say it."
Don't read
it's
it.
don't hear it. It's
Don't read it. Don't read it.
Don't read it. Don't hear it.
It's literally the Bye Bye
to
Man.
be fair, I don't know why you would write
Yeah.
this shit down anyways if it's gonna fucking summon a demon. Like, just keep that shit away. Like,
Yeah, throw it
don't
in the
leave book
ocean.
in a fucking cabin. Yeah,
Warn the next
Like-
people
Burn it.
that are dumb enough to read it.
Yeah.
Duh.
yeah, but like if it's so I don't know, horrifying that it will summon a demon, why would you write this shit down? Well, I guess it's maybe already written down and then someone discovered it and then they were like, oh fuck, don't read this, guys. If you're reading this, don't read
And isn't this
out
guy supposed to
loud."
be like a teacher?
did-
Like, isn't he supposed to be smart? Why the fuck is he not using like his instinctual judgment to go, oh, this book might be bad, let's not read it? Like, did logic just get left at the
his-
door?
His
I
brain
mean,
wasn't
like-
functioning at that point.
I mean, to be fair, you shouldn't ask for logic in an Evil Dead movie.
No,
Yeah,
but it's like-
none of
I
the
mean, that
movies
is
have
true.
it.
No, but this is a
Yeah.
movie that expects you to give a shit. Okay, well, before we get into that, I should probably give some context, at least my personal background with this film. So, out of all the Evil Dead films, this is the one I've seen the least. I've only seen this once, and it was when it came out, and I did not like it. And the only reason why I recommended this along with the trilogy was because for some reason this film has so many like positive reviews. Like on Letterboxd, it has like so many like 10 out of 10s. Like Tom, like for example, really loves the film. He gave it a 9 out of 10 or something. So it's like, okay,
How many?
yeah.
Oh, wow. Really calling out by name, naming names.
I mean, I just had to
Wow.
drop an example, yeah. But like, so I was
Let's go through my friends list.
Yeah.
Oh, this person has given it this.
yeah, no, so
we
Jack
go.
Siddle has given this one a 6 out of 10.
oh, okay,
based-
so we're doing
based
this
Jack.
now, yeah,
Based AF.
yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
So I decided, okay, maybe I missed something, maybe I'll like it again this time or some shit, and yeah, I think I hated it even more this time than I did the first time, because the first time I saw this, I was like, okay, well, you know, there's the fun gore, there's like the bloody violence and stuff, but here it's like I couldn't even give a shit about that. It's like nothing of this film has any value whatsoever. There's like no substance. And I know that's weird to say in like an Evil Dead film,
Yeah,
but
literally.
but keep in mind, this is a movie that seriously expects you to give a shit about the characters. This is a movie that seriously expects you to care. But like the film doesn't. The film just half-asses all these attempts at character building. Like, by the time the movie was over, I literally forgot, like, half the characters that were already dead at that point, like, were even in the movie. I can't remember anyone's names in this film, much less their character arcs. And all these actors who just can't act for shit. They feel like random CW actors instead of, like, actual professional trained actors. Like, they just don't do a good job portraying the things that they need to portray. Like, this film is just... It's just action. It's just mindless, bloody, like, torture and, like, gore and horror shit. But it's not, like, charming. It's not, like, endearing or, like, entertaining like the previous Evil Dead films. This has more in common with, like, some shitty, like, Eli Roth film than, like, any of the Evil Dead films. It's like if Eli Roth made an Evil Dead film. That's just what this feels like. And, like, and by the end, when the final fight happens... like, it expects me to get some, like, emotional payoff by the fact, oh, look, Mia killed this Deadite. Like, who the fuck gives a fuck? Like, anyway, I'll just end it there. What do you guys think? So,
I watched it with you,
Man.
Timmy, and yeah, it was kind of bad. I know I explained it to you, Timmy, but this movie felt like one of those horror remakes when they were doing all those in like the 2000s
Yeah.
to like early 2010s.
I totally agree.
And it felt like if this one was specifically supposed to be like a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Evil Dead, directed by like Eli Roth, but like shot by Zack Snyder, and then Uwe Boll was like a producer or something.
Yeah, I don't see what the difference. I don't see what the difference
a
is.
weird combination of something like that.
I don't see what the difference is between this and like the shitty like Nightmare on Elm Street remake or like the shitty Rob Zombie Halloween films. I seriously don't know what the difference is between all of them. Like they're basically the same. Like just trashy like try hard horror films that are trying to be edgy, be like, "Oh, look how much blood we have. Look how don't you, isn't it scary when the guy gets like hit with the nail so many times?" But it's not in service
I
of
don't
anything.
really- Yeah, it's not in service of anything, but that honestly, I like this film. I'll say
Okay.
that. I like the Evil Dead remake. 'Cause like people like are always so conflicted on this stuff. Like for something like Megan, you guys like argue that like
That's Regan.
this like it would have been more fun if it had more gore and lent into this stuff. And like that's something that so many people complain about in like modern horror movies. They're like, "Oh, if there was at least fun gore, then at least the film would be fun." And that's why I think this film's fun. Like yeah, the characters are stale and they don't mean anything. Who gives a fuck? But like at providing like a fun experience and trying to like take the idea of Evil Dead but making it like actually genuinely scary and frightening, I think this film achieved that like really well. Like and like yeah, it's not like one of those PG-13 shitty horror movies where people like complain like, "Oh, I wish there was more gore, so like it could be fun. I wish they went for the R rating." Because this is something like we've all said on the
Yeah.
podcast before, and this film went for it, and it fucking went for it hard, and it's like squelchy, and you like gotta block your eyes, and it's like fucking, it's brutal.
I
But
mean,
it's
but like you have to keep in
awesome.
mind that like
And, like-
Megan, like having more gore. Yeah, like we all would have preferred there to be more gore and violence, but like more gore and violence wouldn't have solved the movie. It would have just made it less boring. But like,
No, yeah, but it makes it fun, and that's why I thought this film was
Okay,
fun,
yeah.
because it just goes for it. Like it's like in a world where everyone complains, like when there's a PG-13 horror film, and like they just wish it would be more fun and lean into the violence and R rating a bit more. This is a film that does that, like, and I appreciated that. Like the practical effects are surprisingly great, and like I think this film has like a record for like the most fake blood used in
Yeah.
a film ever, and like they just
I
went
think I
for
remember
it.
see-
Like,
Yeah, I
hearing
think
that
this is-
somewhere.
yeah, and like
I'll give the
I
movie
think
this. This
it-
is like one of the hardest R-rated films I think I've ever seen. Like,
yeah, and like I think I just watched this in the perfect setting, and I just like it was nighttime, and like it was like, and I was in my little cabin, and it was spooky, and like yeah, I just because like Evil Dead seems like it could be a scary thing in itself. Like the Deadites in this film like look great, and they look like horrifying, and like what they do with them, with like having them like poking their head like from that hatch is like actually really
Yeah.
scary. And like yeah, like even if the characters aren't anything, like I still think that this film was successfully scary and just successfully a fun time in terms of like providing like action-packed gore fest, like what you want from this kind of thing. And also it's the exact same movie as
no,
Hellraiser
no,
2022, so I don't know why you
Stop
guys
that.
didn't
That is
like it.
not correct. That is absolutely 100% not correct.
Let me
It's
go
like
through the
that,
points.
but the
Yeah.
opposite.
Let me go through the points. Okay.
Okay, let's hear you out.
Bear in mind, Hellraiser 2022 wasn't a film where I personally connected to the characters and thought that the character work was amazing either. Because they are quite surface level in that film, in my personal opinion. So, first point, bam, remake of a classic horror film that some people might interpret to be better. Has a solid direction to it and just a ton of fun gore and like great visuals. Bam. Using a kind of surface level, I guess, done a bit better in Hellraiser, allegory of addiction to
Oh, it
feel
was
the main
100
character's
times better
motives
done
and
in
having the
Hellraiser.
characters
Yeah,
much
100
better.
times better.
Much
Yeah.
better done.
Oh
in that
yeah, it
one.
was better in Hellraiser, but it still is done in this
Not
film.
really. Okay, I'll let you finish.
And having the main characters around them and trying to support them, but eventually dying because of the main. I guess it's not really the main character's consequences in this film. It's like the demon stuff, and like yeah, just fun for its practical elements and gore, but like on a deeper level, nothing really to dissect about it. And yeah, like I enjoyed this film for many of the same reasons that I enjoyed Hellraiser. Like it's just a solid remake. It goes for it in the gore department, and it's entertaining. And yeah, so
I
bam.
disagree, but I'll let Jules talk first before I get into all that. Yeah.
So, my experience with this film was interesting. I saw it, yesterday, for the first time, and I was kind of on the same page as Timmy. I didn't hate it as much, but I still didn't like it. And then this morning, I watched it again. And then kind
Watch
of
it
Watched it
twice? Why?
twice?
Why would you do that to yourself?
yeah.
Because Jules is seeing the vision.
I was-
Wait,
I
let
was-
Jules cook. Let Jules cook.
Kind of liked it a bit more. On the
Yes!
second watch.
Let's go, Jules.
I mean, it's still a 5 out of 10. Like, I have some major issues with it, but Yeah,
It's fun.
I
though.
liked it.
Like,
Yeah. I saw it as much more kind of fun. I still have like, I think it, the fact it takes itself so seriously is still to like its own detriment, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was much better on a second watch. I just kind of got just that bit more out of it, where I was a bit more entertained and it seemed to flow better. I upgraded my rating.
I mean, I'm glad you liked it a little bit more.
Okay.
So we're half and half.
Yeah,
we're half and
we're
half.
now it's now a 2v2 instead
Yeah,
of
now
a
there's Timmy and I who are just
Yeah.
like
2v2. Oh, I thought I had
Yeah,
to like
2v2.
3v1 here. God damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
You mentioned how like the characters you mentioned how the
anti-hero.
characters also take this super seriously, but it's not the same at all compared to like the Evil Dead 2. Like Evil Dead 2, the characters take the shit seriously, but the movie is self-aware about how stupid and goofy it is. But this one, it's like the tone is so unclear. Like you have no idea what fucking tone the movie is going for. Like I thought this was trying to be like a serious, like actual grounded, like Evil Dead film. And if that's the case, that's fine. If anything, I would actually have liked to have seen that movie. Like a grounded, serious like attempt at an Evil Dead film like would justify a remake like this. But the problem is, not only does the film like half-ass this attempt, like it doesn't even attempt to do the very thing that it sought out to do, but like the comedy bits, if you want to call it that, like don't fit in this movie at all. Like it just completely throws you off. It comes out of nowhere. Like when Deadite main girl says a bunch of crazy shit like, "Oh, kiss me, bitch," before like vomiting in her mouth and then saying things like, "Yo, I'm gonna suck your dick" or whatever. It's like, what the fuck? It's like this comes out of nowhere, but it's not endearing like in Evil Dead 2. It's not even fucking funny. Like I didn't laugh nothing in this film was funny whatsoever. So it's just, so what? Like, what is there to even get out of this? Like the gore? Like, yeah, it's like fine, I guess. Like it's certainly a bloody film. It's certainly a violent movie, but like in the end, like I don't give a shit when I don't care about anything that's happening. Like the film expects me to care that the nerd, the teacher, whatever the fuck his name was, like gets like essentially tortured, like cuz he gets like hit over the head, he gets like stabbed with nails, and then he gets like stabbed with like a knife or like a box cutter knife or some shit. It's like I just don't care. Like you can't ground the characters by making them try to quit this former heroin addict, like quit cold turkey, but then have them also be so fucking stupid that they read a book that says do not read, or like think that something, that what's happening to the main girl is normal when clearly something is not. When like boiling water is happening and then she's like running around frenzy, and this dumbass dipshit of a brother goes, "You know what? I think we need a tranquilizer. I think we need to add more CC." Like, what?
Should leave her in
Yeah,
the cellar,
like-
bro.
And then this does this stupid bullshit where after he quote unquote kills her, he resuscitates her with syringes attached to a fucking electric battery
A
box.
battery.
Like, fuck you. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with Timmy on this one.
High five.
Obviously, this is why
Yeah.
the 2v2
Yeah.
virtual high five. But yeah, it was like something. Well, I think we can agree that like the tone was definitely a little too serious. Like it just didn't feel, like I said, it didn't feel like an Evil Dead movie.
It felt like an Eli Roth film. Yeah.
Texas
It felt like a
Chainsaw Massacre
shitty Eli
remake.
Roth film. Or like a
But even then, like Hostel has like some, even though how fucked up it is, Hostel's got like some kind of merit to it. I don't know how to exactly explain that.
it's like
Because like as how gross it is, like there's a meaning for why Eli Roth kind of does everything with shit like
yeah, all the
Hostel
shit
and-
that happens in this film violent wise, like the first thing that I thought of wasn't any of the Evil Dead films. It was like fucking Green Inferno or some shit like that. Like I don't see what the difference is between this film and like some stupid like Eli Roth like movie or like a Saw sequel. Like I seriously don't understand the difference between any of that. Like there's nothing. There's nothing for me to attach myself to. I don't care. Yeah.
You like the Saw movies though.
I mean, not unironically. Like I like them because they're stupid and like over the top and like ironically bad.
Yeah, I think that's maybe kind of why I like this film. Yeah, like story-wise, that is not a thing that is happening. It is not good. It's not great. But like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it's just fun with like what it does with the Evil Dead concept and like the film like looks great. It still has kind of those Raimi elements to an extent, but like it also has like a solid.
I thought the Raimi
like,
elements were
direction of the
so
camera, too.
distracting. Like when it does like the similar like shaky cam POV shots, I thought it was clashing with whatever Alvarez was doing. Like it didn't fit what was going.
It seemed like they were just, to me, that felt like they were just kind of like going off a checklist,
Yeah,
checklist almost, instead of just kind of incorporating it into the film as being like another Evil Dead.
I think
It was
they
just like, okay, we
were-
gotta have the first
I think
camera
they were
shaking.
trying to add like I think they were trying to add like some camp and like to the film though, because like yeah, like the Deadites in this film are kind of goofy. They're kind of like these weird like edgy demon kind of things, and like I guess you can kind of interpret like all the fluid like wild camera movements to be associated with them, because like I guess that's what they do with like in the original Evil Dead. It's like all the POV shots are like to be associated as the spirits and the demons and stuff. And like if you think of like why you like Evil Dead 2, like you like it because it's funny, because it has a ton of comedy, it balances its tones really well. And let's say you like strip away the comedy and the tonal balance and stuff, there's still a lot to appreciate in like the gore and like the set pieces and nature of the film. And I think that's the bit that translated into me liking this film, because yeah, there's none of that comedy stuff, there's none of it trying to stay true to the originals. It's trying to very much be this serious thing, but it does end up being unintentionally funny at bits. And then also there's just bits that it's brutal and it commits to like this like like yeah, just hectic nature. And I kind of just found that fun. Like it was just I like when a film goes for it, you know, like even if there isn't a lot to it, like I think they still set it in a fun enough way and like have enough enjoyable aspects to it to make me at least enjoy some of it. Like it's not perfect. It's not nearly as good as like 2 or Army of Darkness in my opinion, like at all. But it's still just a little fun time. Nothing great, but yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but to me, it just felt like even when it got to the brutal stuff, it just felt like so drained. I just felt so drained by the end, and I was just like, I just don't care. Can this movie just get to the end?
At a certain point,
credits?
the violence just gets so fucking repetitive. It's like, just fucking end the movie already. Like, I just don't care.
How is it repetitive? Like one moment there's like a box cutter, and then there's a nail gun, and then the fucking car, and it's like it's all just like stuff that
repetitive,
you're, like,
not in terms of like
want to see from this kind of thing. It's like like it's
repetitive,
just,
not in terms of like the actual
it
like content,
goes.
like the actual like things that happen itself. More just like the feeling, like the actual like the gore itself. It's just like it's when it's just mindless horror and gore after mindless horror and gore, you just sit there and go, like, is this it? Like, is this all this movie has to offer? Like, because I know the gore and the violence is also a crucial part of all the Evil Dead films, especially Evil Dead 2, but those movies have way more to offer aside from just that. They have the comedy, they have the crazy cinematography, they have the special effects, like they have the awesome direction from Sam Raimi. Like this film doesn't have any of that. Like there's nothing.
I think this film has that. I think this film has great visual effects and great gore and like a pretty solid direction. Like there's some really
Like
great
even in the
shots,
first
like,
Evil Dead,
it
like
looks
when it
Yeah.
was
good.
just like a glorified student project, that had more charm and like and care to it than anything in this film. Like I just don't see it. I don't see it in this film at all. So sorry, Jules, what were you saying?
I think there
Oh,
was a
yeah.
decent amount of
I
care.
think that,
Like Sam Raimi came to write it, like he's the producer on it, and like yeah, there was a decent amount of effort and input to try and make it like just a scary flick with the Evil Dead concept. Like yeah, but sorry, Jules.
It
'cause I
just
think-
felt like
I
a
feel
more
like-
drained Evil Dead to me.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry,
yeah,
Jules.
I feel like the gore was kind of prioritized, or like that's what was taken away from like rather like what Evil Dead is about, which is kind of just to be like really just goofy and like funny.
Yeah.
Like in like that scene
Yeah.
where the guy who looks like the guy from X, but is not the same guy, the who was reading the book, is like, oh, there's something, there's like a dark spirit has possessed our friend, but like they take that so incredibly seriously, and we're meant to take that seriously, whereas like perhaps like Bruce Campbell in like the other film would say like, oh man, something weird's going on, man. This is not groovy at all. And yeah, I just think that like the loss of just that comedy or just goofy elements to it just kind of like hurts like how the film comes out, because like I feel like that's the inherent like soul of what Evil
Yeah,
Dead is.
like the goofy elements
makes
feel
sense.
more like obligatory. Like it's like, oh, it's an Evil Dead film, so you have to include
Yeah.
comedy, but it's not funny anyway. Like and it clashes with the tone that the movie like already set up for itself. Like and like I said, I wouldn't have cared if this wanted to be a more serious Evil Dead film anyway. Like the idea of a more serious Evil Dead film actually sounds interesting. Like I would want to see that movie. But this doesn't deliver on that. This is just blood and gore for the sake of blood and like I keep repeating that, but there is literally nothing else for me to talk about. Like the movie seriously has nothing else for you to offer. And even on like a technical aspect, there is so much that I hate about this movie. Like the film is so oversaturated. It looks ugly as hell. Like it like that's where the Bye Bye Man aspect of it also is like applicable, because like it's about as oversaturated as the Bye Bye Man. Like the editing is stupid. Like I hate that one moment where the two characters are like in the basement or whatever, and they're like, whoa, this is like this wood has been burned, and then it just cuts to like that opening scene where like that one girl who was a deadite got burned. Like, how stupid do you think I am? Like, I just saw that. like
some bullet
yeah,
train
it's like
ass
some
shit.
bullet train ass shit. It's like
Matrix
it's like,
Resurrections.
who the like the editing is just so irritating. It's like everything on a technical level that you'd expect shouldn't be issues are issues in this. And like this film has no excuse. This has a higher budget than any of the Evil Dead films. It has Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell producing it. And you're just gonna let that slide? Like you're okay with the fact that this movie is just so oversaturated, or like how ugly the film looks? Like I just don't find that acceptable whatsoever. Like taking aside my personal feelings about how like this film is like doesn't commit to what it claims it is being. Like, it's just really disappointing on that end. So, yeah.
Yeah, I liked like the gory bits, like the bit with the where he pulls the needle out from like just under his eye. Like that's a thing that I have like a very paranoid fear of. So that was like an actual gross out moment
Yeah,
for me.
I
But
guess
like
so.
I feel like it's just kind of I feel like it's used as like a crutch almost to just kind of distract you from the fact that like nothing really of like interest is almost happening. And like it might look good and it might be like, oh, that's gross, but at the end of the day, like what is being shown on screen besides this blood,
Nothing.
basically, and what intent was it used
Yeah,
for?
nothing.
Yeah,
It's just blood and gore. That's why this film was so boring. Like, unlike the previous Evil Dead films where the runtime just flew by, like you didn't even realize that like an hour has already passed and like the movie's almost over. Here, like the movie was stretching itself out so thin that I was genuinely like checking my clock. I was like, can the movie just end already? Like, Jesus, like it ended like six or seven times. It's like, I just want to go to bed, please. Like, I want to go home. So, yeah.
Well, that happened with
weren't
me
you
on the
home?
first time.
Yeah.
Well, that happened with me on the first time, and then but then on the second time, it seemed to go much faster. Actually, like it like was over kind of before I was expecting it to be
Yeah, but,
over because I was just it was
but I
so
f-
long the first
Maybe
time.
that's because you
Yeah,
know what
because you know what to
expect.
expect. Like, I feel like that doesn't really have anything to do with
Yeah.
the movie itself, though.
Sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So,
Also, that I think that first like 40-ish minutes is just so fucking
It is
boring when there's like
draining.
nothing really going on, and they're just like, yeah, and they're like, girl with heroin addiction, like
yeah,
no.
that's it. And the movie doesn't bring that back up ever. Like, it's just a plot point that happened, and then it's just gone. Like, what? Then what was the point? It's like, the movie can't seriously... It can't just grind the movie to a halt to attempt to build its characters when it doesn't even do that well. And then, like, what? Like, and then afterwards, it's like, okay, we're done character building now. Now it's time to, like, time for the gore stuff now. Like, it's just so frustrating. Like, the way this film is structured is so choppy. Like, there's basically no third act in this film. There's no second act in this film. There's just a first act and a third act. That's it. Like, the first 40 minutes is just boring character stuff, and then the rest of the movie is just gore. Like, okay? Like, I and I don't mean to be nitpicky. I'm not trying to be this, like, oh, it's not like the original movies or whatever. Like, I'm trying not to be that. I'm trying to, like, explain on its own why I don't like this and why I hate everything about this film. It's like, okay, let's pretend that there are no Evil Dead films. This is the first Evil Dead film. Let's pretend that this is the first one. Like, even if we had no idea what an Evil Dead movie was, like what defined an Evil Dead film, there are still elements about this movie that are just fundamentally fucked that I just can't get behind. You know? So,
Yeah. So whoever decided that the dog should be named Grandpa, that is a fucking
Yeah, what the
terrible
hell?
name for a dog.
That
Grandpa.
I named
That
it
is-
Grandpa because it was gonna die soon.
Yeah.
that's still animal abuse to
yeah,
me.
that is also should count as a violation of the Geneva Convention. So, yeah. So,
Sent to the gulag now.
yeah, I will give it this. I guess the final fight was kind of fun, I guess. Like, I did like when...
That one shot in the necklace was kind of cool with the blood
Yeah.
raindrop. I
guess that was kind of cool, but like the inclusion of the necklace was so forced. Like, I actually forgot that someone even had that necklace to begin with, so I was like, wait, why is the necklace here again? I was so confused. Like, it was... And yeah, like the final fight was kind of fun. I did kind of like when the Deadite like pierced the machete through the walls and it like cut her leg or whatever. And
Oh yeah.
and I did
Mm.
and I did
Yeah.
kind of like that one scene where the nerd like goes into the bathroom and finds like I think she was a nurse or something, like half of her face has been cut off and like he slips on the tongue or whatever. Like, I guess
Oh
like
yeah.
things like that were
Yeah,
kind of
ugh.
cool. Like, I'll admit that, but it's like, again, like this is all just fluff. This is all just like frosting, but the cake itself isn't
like-
good, you know? So,
If you think of it as like I don't know, like I can't really remember. I don't want to bring up like John Wick, but like think of like an action film. Like you like it solely for the action, like the story's nothing. I guess that's like a similar way that I like this film, and I still accept it horror instead of action. I guess action as well. Like there's some fun stuff they do with action. But like, yeah, and like I think I also did find it a bit unintentionally goofy. Like, there's definitely moments to it. But like, yeah, like if you think of it like that, like, yeah, it was just a fun, gnarly kind of ride, and I enjoyed it
I
for
mean,
that.
I don't
But
think that's the same
yeah,
thing though, because I feel like
I think it's the same thing. Like,
ah,
if there's
I
a
guess
certain
so,
element
yeah.
Agree
about,
with it, but I feel like they still need to make a good movie with it, though. Is what I
I
would
know,
say.
but like, if you
Yeah.
think of something like, I don't know, like what's a movie that isn't great, but it just has a ton of fun action, and therefore it like makes the movie like fun. You know, it's like a similar vein to that. It's like
But I
it's
feel
like
yeah,
John Wick
it's
1 or something. You know,
no,
like
but it's like but okay, well here's another example. Like, cause I agree with Cole. It's like yes, like you can have just horror or action or something, but there needs to be other things aside from that. You know, like it needs to be well shot. There needs to be some level of substance which like underneath it. You know, like I'm thinking of something like Mad Max. Like Mad Max is just basically one long car chase. But there's also a lot of substance beneath it, you know.
I
Like
mean, you
if you
guys were
move
saying
past,
that you
yeah.
like John Wick, and that's nothing but like action and being well shot, and that's pretty
I
much
mean,
what
there's
this
other
film
stuff too. Like
is.
there's world building. Like there's like this cool universe, like with like all the assassins and like you know their currency and like their how
Their
their like their government
hotels.
system.
I
Yeah,
guess so.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
their
think I
hotel.
just guess this builds on like the idea of Evil Dead being scary, and I like that because
Mhm.
like yeah, it scared me. Like
Okay.
this film scared me. I thought there was definitely creepy moments to it. Like maybe not scared me like "Ah, I'm frightened right now, but like
Mhm.
there were moments to it that like that's the like the idea of seeing that like oh that's really creepy, and like the idea of being in like that situation like oh that's really unnerving and stuff like that. So like
Mhm.
I can't
demon
say I was
stuff kind of
scared, but yeah,
demon
I
stuff
can't say I
kind of
was
is pretty
scared, but
creepy.
yeah,
Like there was
I wasn't scared
moments.
per se,
It was like
but I was just kind of more disturbed, like by
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah. I think
gore, the
disturbed is
gore
more
of it,
the right
basically.
word. Yeah,
That I
Yeah,
would
like
agree with more. I wasn't scared by anything, but if you use the words disturbed, then yeah, I guess that's more applicable to the film.
yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think we've kind of
Yeah, at this point
talked about this.
we're just like
Yeah.
running around in a circle. We're just like saying the
Yeah,
same things. Yeah.
We're
So
We've
just
talked about this
grasping at
enough.
straws here.
yeah.
yeah. So I mean, look, I'm glad that you guys enjoyed the film. Like maybe not love it, but like yeah, I just yeah, I just can't with this movie. I really just can't. Like so
Don't worry, Timmy. I have the other seat on the chair warm for you.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
holding hands and singing Kumbaya. So
Yep.
yeah. Was this our first I feel like this is our first super heated drama discussion.
No,
'Cause I
no,
don't
no.
think
There was pirates and there was Titanic.
Pirates.
Don't worry.
Oh, I think I say
wait,
Bone Alone.
I was gonna say we got heated during Titanic. Like when? Like we all liked it. I thought, right?
Oh no! I just had the infamous door
Oh,
argument.
that one. Okay, no, but I'm talking about like us having such like different and extreme viewpoints on the movie.
I guess
Like
pirates. Yeah.
no, but like,
Pirates too.
but I didn't hate Pirates too though. I was
I know,
just
but
very
you were
like
shit talking it in that episode. Like
Yeah.
we were just trying to say it was fun, and you were like going into it. You were ripping
Okay.
it out.
all right. So this is our second drama Monday bit then. Yeah.
yeah.
Drama
Mhm.
alert.
Yeah. So anyway,
Pirates of the
I guess
Caribbean 2 Solos Evil Dead 2013 any day though.
Oh yeah,
oh
definitely.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, like even if I don't love
of
the
course.
second Pirates movie, that film's 100 times better than this shit. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're not
So
totally
anyway,
irredeemable.
yeah, not completely. So yeah. Anyway, I guess we
Anyway.
should just get into ratings then, unless anyone else had anything dying to say about this movie.
No.
It's lame.
Yeah, it's lame. 2 out of 10. I gave it maybe closer to a 3, I guess, because there were like some kind of cool bits in it, but like yeah, it's a 2 out of 10. I got nothing out of this. So
Yeah.
Yeah, my original rating was a 4, but now I have upgraded it to a 5 because I did not think it was totally
Mm.
shit.
Yeah, I think I'm probably there too, 5 or 6. I just enjoyed it, even though it's not perfect.
Mhm.
yeah, I think there was more to enjoy about it than to not enjoy about it. So, yeah,
I
And
think this is
I'm
better than
using
Evil Dead
this-
1.
Ooh.
yeah, yeah.
No,
Oh,
come
really?
on.
Yeah, I
No.
think
It
it's
is
more
not
enjoyable.
better than Evil Dead
I
1.
know.
Come on.
I think there's more to it to enjoy for me, honestly.
Now we're getting into the real drama Monday.
Oh,
yeah.
here we go.
Yeah. Sorry, Cole, did you give your rating?
3 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, nice. Yeah. All in all, though, we can say that no matter how much we differ greatly in opinions on a movie, we're still friends, I guess. So,
With you,
Yeah.
with you after your shit talk of Pirates 2.
you guys still won't let that go. That was like ages ago.
I'm not letting it go.
I'm not.
I think
letting
Luke,
it go
Luke is
either.
fine. Oh, okay,
No,
good. Luke
no.
is with me on this.
I'll be more in the background about it, but I do love when we bring it up. I think it's
You guys are
funny.
like, yeah, you guys are like those like kinds of parents where
meme
it's
of it.
like it's been like
Just the
years
meme of
since
our
you.
podcast.
Yeah, it's like you guys are like those kinds of parents where it's like years after you fucked up, they just randomly bring it up during a random dinner conversation. I'm like, why'd you even bring that up? That was like decades ago.
Well,
So-
you fucked up for not.
But that's never happened to
Oh,
me,
no.
so I don't know what you're talking about.
That's like me sleeping, and then I just remind myself, oh, remember that thing you did in middle school? How embarrassing. Remember that
Yeah.
weird
I'll
thing you
never
said?
forget any of
Like,
those things.
No, yeah,
I
no,
know,
I
those
still think about
awkward
all the stupid
situations.
shit. Yeah, I still think about all the stupid shit I've done within the past like 5 to 10 years. So, yeah.
when
So,
you were a baby.
when I was a little baby boy. Yeah. So,
All right.
I
Is
was
this our-
younger than I was now.
is this our longest episode? I know there was like a little lull in.
I think
recording.
It's
so.
gonna be because
Maybe.
we still
Yeah.
have to do questions unless we just shouldn't
Questions.
for this one.
I mean,
Unless you want
yeah,
Do
no-
it quickly because I have to be out of here soon.
You know what? There's only one question anyway. Let's just save that question for like
Okay.
the next episode. So yeah, let's
Okay.
Jules, just
Oh.
get into your recommendation. Yeah. So,
Okay.
or is it your
Yeah,
turn or
like-
Lucas? I actually don't remember.
It
who's
is
going
my
first.
turn.
Let's chill.
Okay, cool.
Oh, okay.
So,
What are we
let me
watching?
quickly pull up the page for this because this
Oh,
film
no.
is a French film
Oh.
from 2007 called
The-
Les Scapiendre et le Papillon, or The Diving Bell and the Butterfly.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I'll watch it. I won't be here, but I'll watch it.
yeah,
yeah.
I might do a watch party of it in the group chat. Yeah. Okay.
So if
yeah.
you don't want to be spoiled for The Diving Bell and the Butterfly, 2007, directed by Julian Schnabel. Watch it before the next episode because we will go in detail about it. So yeah,
This feels like a Luca recommendation. I would expected Luca to have recommended this. So
Luca hasn't even seen this, I don't think.
I think I saw it when I was younger. Actually, no. I think I saw like the first 10 minutes and then I had to do something and then I never
Oh, I
revisited
thought you were
it.
gonna say.
Oh, okay.
I thought you were gonna say you watched 10 minutes and then rated it like why am I?
That would have sucked.
Yeah.
Watch the first 10 minutes. Kind of boring. So like
5 out of 10. Fuck
like
you.
5 out of 10, you know.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, I don't think I've always heard about this film, but I don't know anything about it. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna go into this blind. So,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's an amazing film. One of my favorites ever. So yeah.
Dank. Good recommendation. Yeah, can't wait to talk about it. So,
Yeah.
you already said the thing, right? Or
And watch it before the next episode. You don't want to be spoiled. This or that. Yeah.
mhm.
yeah,
Groovy.
so-
Epic.
groovy, epic.
Nice.
Yeah,
Movie dank
yeah.
time.
All hail the king,
Alrighty.
baby.
Well,
Yeah,
You, Cole, for coming on.
Yeah, thanks,
thank
Cole,
you.
for-
Oh, hell the king,
Yeah.
baby.
Maybe
Yeah,
I can
we
come
are-
back
we
on
fi-
in a more
Maybe.
coordinated manner.
yeah.
Yeah, maybe you
Well,
can go
now-
on time next time.
Yeah, well now I feel we're contractually obligated to invite Nin Jedi on whoever on some other episode now that we've had you.
I mean, maybe they
so-
could bring me on.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
say. We're
When are
we're
you
trying
gonna
to find the right
bring-
movies for you?
Yeah, when are you gonna bring Jules and
And
Luca on? You already did me, and I'm just
honestly,
waiting for the other two.
They've tried to
I
invite
have
me, but I've been waiting till they watch a dinosaur movie
okay, so Luca,
because
I'm
I don't want
probably
to
gonna
watch
get
a
you
shit
on.
movie.
I'm
I don't
gonna
want to
get
watch
you
a
on.
random shit movie unless it has like a dinosaurs or it's just like one of those like really shit like creature movies.
Okay. Yeah, I
That's
have
all I'll
one in
show up
mind
for.
for you.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil what it is because
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
don't
want him to
spoil.
hear
Don't
this.
spoil it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, can't wait for those episodes. Anything else you wanted to plug, Cole, aside from your Nefarious Reels podcast? Or
Besides Nefarious Reels, probably my Letterboxd. Probably if you want to, I don't know, call Chillo18 if you want to just listen my or read my dumb fucking reviews that either are like an essay or just like a sentence, go there. And then disagree with my
Nice.
film points.
Very cool.
yeah, very cool. Awesome. Well,
Cool.
thank you,
Very
everyone.
groovy. Yeah,
Very
thank
groovy.
you.
Very groovy.
Thank you, everyone. Bye. All hail
Bye.
to the king.
Bye. Bye. Help the king. Groovy.
Yeah,
Bye bye.
groovy.
Groovy.
Yeah.
Okay, damn.